everybody. Happy Saturday. All right. I think I saw Miss Kelly was here. Harlot, Kels, Rhea, Angel, Cammy, Stevie. Thank you all for Teresa. Thank you for stopping by and saying hello on this beautiful Saturday. I don't know where you guys are at, but it's beautiful here. It's like, I don't know, nice 70 degrees, sunny, birds chirping. Or Sunday, depending on where you live, I guess, in the world. Yeah. But in America, it is a beautiful Saturday. Oh boy, I'm not good with Spanish. El Borca, how you doing? Shaggy. So, hold on, let me I'll wait for some more people to pop in. I don't have one of those fancy introduction videos and all that. I don't know all that yet. Stevie said he was going to help me. I've been asking him and asking him. He just, gives me the cold shoulder and ignores me. I don't know what to do anymore. I've tried. I'm just kidding, bud. I'm lazy. I got to hit you back. All right, let's see. Wisconsin in the 80s. Okay. That's nice. I heard it was like record, what's it called? I got a little bit of water on my screen here. I heard it was like record degrees down in Florida. It was crazy down there, I heard. My screen's freaking out. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I swear, if you get like a droplet of any kind of liquid on anybody's phone screen, like, if you ever drop any liquid on it and all of a sudden it's like calling your fucking ex or something like that, and you're like, what the fuck? You're trying to wipe it off. And the phone's doing whatever it wants, clicking wherever it wants. What the hell? The screens can't handle liquid. They get all confused and shit. It's the kryptonite of a phone. Anyway, did I drop the link? No, I just copied it. Fuck. There we go. So if anybody wants to come up, I want to hear from y'all on, what your opinion is so far. If you're familiar with the Karen Reed case, if not, we can watch a little this, a little that. Not too much. I don't want to bore anybody because I know a lot of people have seen it. But yeah, I dropped a link. I'm gonna give you my opinion. I wasn't on the whole Karen Reed is, the whole movement, like, the people out in front of the courthouse and all the, free Karen Reed people on the internet and stuff. Because obviously, you guys know I've been focused with Idaho. But I went into it with an open mind because I had first thought, okay, she accidentally hit her husband or hit her boyfriend, so I was like, all right, but once she didn't take the plea, then I got confused because I don't think she would have done barely anything, but it's the fact of her admitting to taking her boyfriend's life. And if she accidentally did and maybe thinks she did, okay, and was too drunk to remember, I mean, what person wouldn't take, that deal? But if you're 100% sure that you didn't do this, like, why would you take a plea if you can prove it? And on top of it, and then they upped the charges to she did it on purpose. I think they should have kept the charges where they were. I think the prosecution would have a better shot. Hey, King. What up, Twizzy? Twiz, did you get my link I sent you, bud? Gemini, what's up? Hey, Gemini, I told you before, right? I'm a Gemini too. I don't know if anybody can tell. I love being a Gemini, just saying. But listen, I know everybody makes fun of Lally and stuff like that, but I've seen a lot of like prosecution teams that have 2, 3 individuals, you know, that are there, and I guess I guess I'm questioning, like, was Lally, did they just throw Lally and be like, yo, like, you're the only one that's willing to, like, stand up there and do this? And he's sitting up there, like, what the fuck? And he's just calling people up. Nobody's prepped. And he doesn't know what's going on. And every single witness he gets up there winds up backfiring on him when, they're cross examined. And like, I don't think that's normal, like, at all, by any means. So again, is Lally boring and all that kind of shit? Yeah, but I feel like a lot was thrown on his plate to handle without having any really kind of help because of how shady this was. So, it's incredible what we're witnessing, in my opinion. It really is. This will go down in history. They'll make movies about this. The whole works, and rightfully so. Again, we're talking about the basically the same area, okay, where the Revolutionary War was started. Okay, so you have people there from generation to generation that are against corruption and this kind of bullshit. So just think of how. Oh man, I mean that's where it originated. Let's see. What's everybody saying here? Check chat. We keep ranting. About to go away from the chat now. I'll be listening now. Okay, Miss Kelly. Well, he's all by himself, but he's bad. I just can't tell if he's doing it on purpose. I think he stretches it. He stretches it out on purpose, but like what can he do? Can he get up there and say, "Hey, listen, we wave the white flag." I don't know. I don't know, but from what I'm seeing is he's okay with he. It seems like he knows before he even calls these witnesses up what direction it's going to go, and he just takes every single one on the chin. I mean, he knows come Tuesday he's done that. Jen is going to impeach herself 1,000 times over. From what I saw, Lana post last night, it looks like. Maybe somebody correct me if I'm wrong. That Ali McCabe is basically going to get impeached once the defense puts on their case, and she's called back up. And I might be mistaken on how I worded that, but because of the app that the family has to track them everywhere they go. So there's another one, off the board. Because, I mean, none of Jen McCabe's testimony is going to stick. None of it. Absolutely. I mean, 90%, maybe 95% of everything she said up there was a complete fabricated lie that's going to be debunked. She didn't peek at Karen's taillight. They didn't have a seance around fucking Karen's taillight. None of that stuff. And again, if you guys have seen the trial, you know what I'm talking about. Jen got out of the car, ran right inside. And if anybody ever goes back and watches that part again, I want you guys to pause when Karen is running around the passenger side, the back of the passenger side of the car, and when she crosses the tail light, you see like beautifully a red reflection right off of her coat, and that's her tail light reflecting off of her coat. Jen McCabe never looked at her taillight one time. Listen, Teresa, in my opinion, all of them conspiring like this, having group chats and shit, I hope the FBI takes them all down. I don't give two shits if they all wind up in jail. I don't care. If you can sit up there and lie like that, to a jury's face, to Karen's face, there's a problem. Yeah, you need to go away. I mean, you're a dangerous individual. And I understand that, Jen McCabe might be the puppet master behind all this, but shit. I mean, at what point do you understand something's evil? Does anyone else say that? Um, I, I don't know if one other person said that she said, "Did I hit him?" But I know Katie McLaughlin, the paramedic, was trying to say that she said, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him," but she kind of impeached herself or purged herself, whatever the hell they were trying to say, because she knows Caitlin Albert. I mean, they were at a baby shower together like months prior, and everyone's intertwined, man. Jen McCabe, what's up, Rockstar? Jen McCabe wrote the narrative. Now she's trying to convince and sell it all to us. Yes, and like again, there's 36 people here, and everybody be honest. And if you did, like if you bought it, you bought it. It's fine. Did anybody buy her testimony? Like, did anybody buy it? Like, this is a serious question. I mean, did she? What? I mean, you saw her. Did she seem authentic? Like, what does everybody think? So we gotta know. We got a hell no. We got some laughs. Like, Jesus mighty. I can't imagine being that jury, sitting there having to analyze this, and if juries are they have half a brain, and they're writing out these timelines. They're writing where everybody is sitting, or saying they were sitting in the house and this and that. They're gonna. I mean, you can just see right in their notes that everybody's story is inconsistent. Yeah, when they start explaining themselves like that, Shaggy, that's when I'm like, yo, hey Beckles. Um, Yeah, well, like when she started going into a frantic after, she had that she was like, yes, or like correct. And then as soon as they asked her about the Google search, she was like, my MS made me do it. And, I was freaking out and this, that, and the third. Yo, what? You just gave way more information than Lolly asked you. Lolly probably didn't even want you to do that. Can't believe anything. Yeah. I mean, listen, I I don't know. I've tried, like I said, I've tried to give the prosecution a shot to, I thought they were going to have some kind of experts already. I mean, I would have called shit. If I knew my witnesses were going to be flipped like this, I would have had my experts up first, to say John was hit by a vehicle this way, that way. Hey, Cold, they're all these people like that are easy to see through. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and they all do the same thing with their mouth. I saw somebody post a picture of like all nine of them, or I forget how many of them. Six, yeah, I think it was nine of them, all with their like lips pressed when they're speaking to the defense attorney. I never do that. Like I'm doing that now. I don't. I mean, I put my like left two fingers on my chin sometimes when I'm thinking, but like pressing my lips together is weird as shit. Hurts actually. Yeah, I think, but like I said, in my opinion, this is my opinion. I think come Tuesday, this this is it's gonna blow everything wide open, and from there, it's all gonna be downhill. Because now that they've hinted the group chat, I'm curious what Jen McCabe has said in that group chat. Like, oof, 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 oof. I mean, if innocent Maddie only was surveilling and this, that, and the third, just think of what Jen was saying in there. Now, and maybe somebody can help me out. How can they like would they are they going to be able to what's the word uh um like recall Brian Albert to the stand and confront him with the group chat messages? Like, that's something they can do, right? On with direct, because I think they left Maddie. I think they waited, like, because they could have gave this shit earlier on who was in that group chat, but I think they waited until Maddie because he was the weakest link, in my opinion. And then because he gave it up right away, he was like, John. Like, they could have said anybody else. He could have said, "Oh, we were talking about, so and so." He was like, yeah, John O'Keefe." And I was like, "Oh shit, dude." Word on the street is Lally has lost a jury. Now, how do you know that, William? Now, I know there's two individuals of Asian descent on the jury, and hearing the Asian house, in my opinion, probably didn't go over too well with them. And I think that's why Bev freaked out. But Bev can't freak out because of the vulgar language and all this kind of stuff that these people are using in their group chat. The jury needs to hear these people's true identities and not, them throwing on a fucking suit or some bullshit, going on a stand and trying to, fool everybody. Sorry. Hey, Heather. Hey, Angel with an A. Yeah, I can't wait either, Heather. Hey, Annie. How you guys doing? Strategy to put the storytellers up first and all evidence and hopes jury will forget the story. I guess. I mean, but isn't it going to get worse once the defense's case comes? Like, once I feel like once the defense puts on their case, it's going to be just haymaker after haymaker after haymaker, and like, oh man. And the FBI, and like I said, and the FBI is still sitting there licking their chops. So people say, "Oh, if Karen's acquitted, nobody else is, nothing's happened to anybody else." I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's correct at all. Yeah. Yeah, with his old smirk with his veneers and shit like that. I like how Vanetti called him out. He's like, "Sir, something funny here? Something funny here, sir?" Doesn't he posted an engagement? Yeah, I was. Oh, hey, War. I was gonna ask that. Do they always expose everybody's phone numbers when they put evidence up on the screen during a trial? Like, because they exposed the whole group chat's phone numbers in that in the other day. I don't know if anybody caught that, but on the top of that document, there's it shows like 3 or 4 different numbers of all the people in the group chat. So I think they might have had to change their numbers. But, I mean, because if I caught that, I'm sure a lot of other people caught that were watching it. Trolls and shit. Don't they redact usually? Gemini, that's what I thought. But like, if you go back and watch, like their names and numbers are on the top. You think Lolly will prosecute Buddy Chen? I hope not. I hope to get somebody in there with some fucking kahunas. Christ's sakes. I also hope the jury's paying attention to again. Like, you would have to think the jury is like us, right? I mean, we're what's it called? I mean, we're level-minded individuals, right? Like, if John was fucked up from the, ankles up and feet up and stuff like that, and this, that, and the third, and he was, laying in grass but covered in snow, and tail light pieces around him, and everything that you would suspect. Yeah, but shit, man. I hope they're paying attention to that. I hope they're putting 2 and 2 together, like we all are. But I don't see how they're not, especially if a jury selection. You're trying to get people that are somewhat bright. I'm assuming. Yeah, I can't believe she took Tuesday off. Or, hey, Merc. I can't believe she took Tuesday off or Monday off. I was like, what the hell? Like, you have a what, Memorial Day coming up, so What the fuck? It should be the judge. It's so stupid. She made to go to trial when both sides said they weren't ready. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. And that's why, like I said, I don't want to hear anybody bitch that the prosecution's getting, blindsided by these group chats and shit and everybody's messages and everybody's information. Where do you think it's coming from? I want to hear everybody. I want to hear what everybody thinks in the chat. Where does everybody think that all this information and the group chats and everybody's locations and this, that, and the third is coming from? Where do you guys think? Hey, Brian, how you doing, bud? How you feeling? Yeah, that guy. And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Jen McCabe reference John as a guy in the yard? So John went from everybody, Jen loved him so much, and this really pissed me off. This is when my hatred towards this woman grew like tenfold. Is when she said that she spoke to John's daughter that he adopted. I think it was daughter. Again, if I'm wrong on that part, I'm sorry, but she spoke and said like everything's going to be okay. I'm going to find, I'm going to find them and stuff like that. Wow. And that's why I think Karen was giving her the death stare like you wouldn't believe. Like, whew. I understand the niece, but didn't he adopt them? Like that I don't know about y'all, but yeah, FBI, exactly. That's my thoughts. Because I've listened to a few people review the records of the phone data, and it says like how it's typed and the format stuff is exactly how the FBI kind of do their, I don't know, fucking paperwork or do their shit. Yeah, the guy, unbelievable. The guy, everybody's best friend too. The guy. I mean, and let me ask you guys this: has anybody heard Lally, reference the guy on the lawn as Officer John O'Keefe yet? Like, why are they trying to minimize who this guy was to the jury as the prosecution? It's that pisses me off. So that's the one thing I really don't like about Lally is, he tries to minimize John as well to the jury. It's terrible. It's disgusting. Niece and nephew. Oh, if it's coming from the FBI investigation, the feds. Yeah, like, imagine being Lally, knowing that. Like, fuck. The FBI's like he has no idea what he's walking into every day. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, and then you have Brian Albert, who responds exactly. So that was basically Matt telling somebody in the group chat, tell them the guy never went in the house. And then Brian saying exactly, basically saying like, exactly, say that. Agreeing with what, Matt is telling, this person to do. Holy shit. And there's people still out there, trying to defend, that whole sequence of the conversation. I don't know if they've seen, like, there's a whole sequence of a conversation more than what, and they're not good. Like, holy macaroni. Skylar, I think the FBI turned over. What's up, John? What the prosecutor didn't turn over. I think the FBI turned over what the prosecutor didn't turn over. Yeah, like, I mean, like when Jen said, "Oh, I Googled, how long to die in a cold and blah blah blah." Like, the fact is, she also Googled it at 2:27, but Lolly didn't bring that up. Why? Because it would fuck them. And that's crazy. Like again, you guys have watched a lot. This is my first trial I've ever watched from like start to finish because, again, it's hard for me to watch weeks and weeks and weeks of trial. But have you guys ever seen something like this? Like, I know there's been other corruption and shit like that, but have you ever seen quite something like this? For day one, I think the jury is going towards not guilty. It's a fucking joke. Yeah, like I said, as soon as I, would have heard from all these witnesses or a couple witnesses that there was barely any snow on the ground, and she would have had to hit him at 12, whatever, and he would be laying on grass. Yet he was found on snow with not too much snow on him. I mean, how is that not a tell? Right there. Is there a little puppet they threw under the bus? Yeah. Like I said, I just can't believe they don't have any kind of help. They don't have any kind of help with it for him. It's crazy. Never seen anything this bad. I've watched a lot of trials. Really? Oof. Blatant lies. Oh, several. No. OJ. Yes. Yeah, I'm sure OJ was crazy, but that's not like. Did they have a third party culprit in OJ? Were they blaming somebody else? Did they have like kind of like, I don't know what you call what the defense is doing here, but it seems like they're kind of just hinting. Also, now Smear and John will keep getting around with other men. Shit, yeah, like Lolly's doing too much, man. He's asking people, what medication they take, how many goals their kids scored on a soccer game a week prior, a whole bunch of dumb shit that, and the jury's probably sitting there like, dude, like I want to go home. Fucking hell. Fuck no. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there's a reasonable doubt. Again, regardless of, if the jury believes might have been Colin, might have been Brian Higgins, who the fuck knows. Just all the reasonable doubt is, oof. And yeah, like I said, if I was hey Pumpkin, if I was anywhere near that group chat, I'd be gone. I'd be out of this country. I'd get all my fucking money out I can and try to get out of here. Especially Michael Proctor. Like, how is he gonna sit up there and be confronted with messages between his buddies of trying to find nude photos of Karen? Holy macaroni! Whew. I wanted to see Biatch McKay. Hey, Mark, I want to see Biatch McKay face after she says. Seriously, and like I said, if he brings up the stuff that even we know, he'll make his witness look stupid, and that is just wild. His witnesses are getting just straight, again, clobbered, clobbered, clobbered. Everyone is one. One thing, if everybody can just like the live if you can, I'd appreciate it so much. Crazy thing is, everyone is watching this trial to determine how guilty the Mike Albert. Sorry, doesn't even have to do it with Karen anymore. Yeah, and it seems like Lally has like aborted trying to prove Karen guilty, and it's more like trying to prove that there's not a cover up. Like, I mean, that's what I'm seeing. Am I wrong? Come on, this is an open discussion. I'm gonna drop this one more time because I don't know how to pin it to the. I gotta figure out how to pin it to the top. Let's call it Tin Hat. Yeah, I love watching. Yeah, I like watching the all the people that cover this reaction and stuff like that. I love watching their reaction to some of the stuff because some people watch it way after, watching it live, and then especially when the whole nude photo thing came out, everybody freaked the hell out. You're starting to toss the PCA in Idaho. Yeah, I know, Brian. Like I said, that's another shit show for a different, again, and you can kind of, if that goes to trial, it's going to be just as much of a shit show, in my opinion. Maybe not, the whole cover up. I mean, who knows? I don't know. Yeah. So you think they buried it? Do you think now? I hope this isn't true, and I don't want to I hope the answer to this question is no. But does anybody think Chloe is in the pool? Because Jen said that she didn't see Chloe in the room. And so that means Chloe didn't wake up to fucking any, Karen screaming her fucking head off outside for so long. And then she didn't freak out when or when Jen barged in the room at 6 something in the morning if the dog is sitting there sleeping. Like, where's Chloe? Brian and his wife said that Chloe was sleeping in the in the bed with them. So, where the fuck is Chloe? I mean, we should. Chloe has been rehomed. So now that one of the witnesses admitted that Chloe's in Vermont, can they do anything to try to locate that dog? Like, can the defense do anything? Would she would she have to give up where that dog is that she rehomed? Like, why wouldn't she? Oh man. Justice for Chloe and John. It's just sick, man. These people are sick. No soul. Instead of just saying, hey, it was an accident. It's not hard. Let's see. 1 second, folks. Sorry, my daughter. I let the kitty inside. No, let her out here because she's gonna be scratching at the door in like 2 seconds anyway to want to come back out. Sorry. So let's see. Yeah, and I'm sure everybody picked up on it. I believe the expert said that there was swine or pig in the DNA that was found in, I don't know if it was swabs or John or whatever the fuck she got, but it was some kind of pig DNA, correct? And my theory to that is, just like everybody saw the commercial, bacon strips, okay, that's bacon. And a dog eats bacon all the time as a treat, I'm sure sometimes it's in dog food, which would make perfect sense on why there's pig DNA on John. I mean, perfect sense. Unless they're going to try to say, he ate ham that night or he had bacon that night or some dumb shit. I mean, come on. They have Jen's phone logs and a VT area code would not be hard to find. Yeah, and they're also going to have her phone moving with John's phone at the same time. And if I'm almost, like I said, she said so much. She also said that she flipped John's body over or something, and she performed CPR herself. Isn't that correct? Now, did she say that for that to be an excuse for her to have John's phone when it was all said and done? Because she's gonna have to explain that shit. Like, why do you if why are you touching John's phone in the first place? And if that's going to be her stupid argument that she picked up his phone because who knows what dumb explanation she's going to have. Absolutely, and I think they have two experts to testify to that. The defense has. Yeah, like I said, I don't believe a word she said. Not anything. Yeah. So her, wow, 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 wow. The morning of a body found in somebody's lawn, you have a woman that's traveling that has nothing that wasn't supposed to be there or anything like that is traveling with the victim's phone and her phone at the same time. Yet no big deal. And then takes the phone inside. And at that point is when she goes and so she takes John's phone and then goes inside and wakes Brian and his wife up. Holy shit. Holy shit. Like I said, I wouldn't show up if I was her on Tuesday. I really wouldn't. I don't care. And I know a lot of channels are like, oh, we're not going to say anything about, what she said to give her any ammunition on how to. It doesn't matter. They just gave the defense 4 days to stew over everything she said and write down all the inconsistencies. And they're going to have an Action Jackson is going to be ready. I mean, I mean, listen, he might only need a half a day before she fucking freaks out. I'm telling you. No problem, Salty. I appreciate you coming by the way. Yeah, they deleted text calls. Like, yeah. And but yet, that's on my page. She deleted her text from 227, but didn't delete her text messages from 630. Why? Why? And like I said, I'm very curious if the state tries to dispute the subright records, because if they do, which I heard they have some expert, then how do you not let all the other people out of jail or prison that have been convicted with subright in that state? You have to let them all out. Like, if you're trying to say software or whatever it's called is no good, because just in this case, well, then it can't be good in any of the cases that you've prosecuted in the past. I mean, that's fair. It's crazy. Absolutely not. And it's like, when Lolly's asking questions, it's bang, 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 and a lot of these people haven't even been prepped. And bang, bang, and then as soon as the defense asks questions, I don't know, I don't recall, uh, and then you have Matty Boy who needs a fucking phone light to see messages that I could probably I was almost able to read from just watching the trial from where I was sitting on my phone, and he's sitting there with a phone light looking out the window, blah blah blah, trying to see the words, but yet he clearly saw he saw tire tracks from fucking I don't know how many yards away, clear as day. He knew exactly where the tracks came from. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, I was so glad, like I say, he didn't have time to conspire with his wife about what he had said, and them having the well, I guess it doesn't matter because she's going to know they have the group chat now. He's going to tell her. So now she's going to go through the group chat. Watch, she's going to go through the group chat and she's going to have a stupid answer for every single exchange that they're going to ask her. I guarantee it. Sidebar. I'll allow it. What's up with that? What's wrong? Whatever happened to overruled? I mean, she says overruled sometimes, but that's what I mean, Heather. Like, what? I don't know. And I don't know why the defense didn't make that a point. I don't know why they were like, sir, It seems like you really needed a lot of light there to see something a couple inches from your face. Are you sure those tire tracks that you saw, came from that vehicle that you had mentioned? But I don't think they asked that. I would have. Argument sidebar Tuesday was about showing times Google search around 2 a.m. Yeah. And okay, let me try to remember this without having to switch screens here. There was also another inconsistency that I pointed out yesterday, just slightly, just slightly on Dinkies, and and what it is at 453 is when 453 is when Karen called Jen. So Karen calls Jen at 4:53 in the morning, and then Karen leaves her house, I believe, at 4:58, and that's when she backs up and cracks her tail light. And at some point after that, she realizes her tail light's broken. Well, the huge problem, the huge problem Jen's going to run into is she clearly stated that when Karen called her, Karen mentioned to her about the broken tail light. So how the fuck was Karen complaining to Jen about a broken tail light 5 minutes before Karen broke her tail light? And that silence tells it all. She's screwed. she she is done. So how? I mean that in itself makes absolutely no sense. Aside from every other bullshit she said about Karen talking about getting her period. I mean, she was a sick individual to say that and not say Karen had blood on her face, from performing CPR, and she was freaked out by it, which is what the fucking every other person there that saw her doing that said. Yet she didn't mention that, did she? You're sick. I know you're never gonna see this, Jen, but you're sick. I can't throw hands with you, but I know some chicks that'll throw hands with you. Tell your husband to tell your fucking let's see, Jen's what? Whatever. Tell your family members to start training you, and we'll do it in a safe environment. Oh, don't even start, Shag. I don't want to hear that shit. Where's the proof? Because Karen has MS and she takes Adderall, and her eyes aren't popping out of her goddamn head. This lady looks psychotic. Like if you looked up psychotic in the dictionary, male and female, I don't know who you might find in the male, but you're definitely finding her ass right there. The definition. And she can come back and get me for defamation, all kinds of shit. Fuck you, Jen. That's your best friend. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna say former best friend because I'm just gonna say it how it is. That's your best friend. And you sat up there and you added so much to your lie that was already a bullshit lie. And she had to sit there and keep her mouth shut and not say a word. Phew. Karen is a stronger person than I am. Because I would have asked to be in a chair with restraints on it because I know I'd want to jump up and whoop her ass. I know, Gemini, because she's watching people that she thought maybe cared about her and cared about her and John's relationship just sit up there and blatantly lie. It's I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that. Just so everybody can cover their ass. I know, Shag. Dude, listen, dude, you know me already, man. I don't take shit serious. But what I do take serious, I mean, is a corruption. Like, these are people's lives you're trying to throw away, and families you're trying to affect of, innocent people, to protect your own family from all conspiring to throw this guy out in the lawn. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely like it makes me so sick. And then polluting your children to go up there and lie for you. Oh my god, man. Like, this runs so deep. It's beyond, man. So she's probably in a lot of pain too. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure. Like, I can't. And I guarantee you, she's had zero time to grief. Zero time to grief. So what? Not if she walks, when she walks. Okay. Hopefully, she's able to, be able to grieve finally. Because I know damn well. Yeah, Karen and Jen. I thought Karen and Jen were really good friends, unless I'm mistaken. I mean, Karen called Jen that morning. She's the first person she called, so she had to trust in her somehow. And that lady spun all her words around and made her into a murderer. Whew. Be careful. Watch who your friends are, folks. Be careful who you surround yourself with. All right. Well, I'm going to drop this one more time. And if nobody comes up, let's see, it's been on for 47 minutes. I'm going to get off at the hour mark because I want to hear from everybody. I want to sit up here and sound like a broken record. Y'all listen. My kids are. Hey, Willie, and y'all listen. My kids are in the house. Oh, okay. I'll try to watch my language. I'll try to watch my profanity. Yeah, I thought so, Heather. I thought so. But like that look she was given, that look she was giving Jen on the stand. Oh my God! Like, if she was Homelander, Jen's head would have been gone. She was staring right through her. But I think at the end she kind of smiled and Yannetti laughed because like they realized that she screwed up so much. She went right over to Keith's parents' house. Wow. See, that explains it. I don't know. I don't know if anybody saw the one short. I think it's yeah. I only posted 2 shorts ever in my life, but the last short that I posted, um, for some reason, my weird ass was. I went back and rewatched the opening statements, and I was zooming in on different people's faces at different times, like really, really zoomed in, and I caught something really interesting, and I caught uh, John O'Keefe's mom mouthing Yannetti's opening argument. Well, not the whole, a full sentence, but basically she knew, what was said um, when when Proctor was asked, is the guy on the lawn going to catch a lot of grief? And he replied, nope. And when Yannetti says that in his opening argument, Mrs. O'Keefe she moused the word nope as soon as he says it. And she kind of like shakes her head a little bit. So I know a lot of people think, Paul might be on board because he's always staring at Karen like he wants to jump over and do something to her. But I think like Miss O'Keefe, John's mom, isn't sold on Karen. That's just my personal opinion from what I saw. What a la 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 la. Now I gotta listen to Lil Wayne. Let's see. I listen Tuesday. Like I said before, it felt like Christmas when it was a cross examination of, I believe, Colin. But no, I have two Christmases left, which is Jen McCabe and Trooper Proctor, because they're both royally screwed, and they better bring Vaseline to uh, court with them. They better bring it in. It's not going to be a pretty scene. I just don't understand why she's having a half day. Like like a juror had something going on Monday. Why would you take a half day a half day Tuesday? Why not a full day Tuesday? If you just screwed your Monday, it makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. Oh my God, Carlos, imagine when the defense's case comes, like, oof. So now when the defense, okay, when it's the defense's turn, right? They just start immediately calling up their witnesses. Is there anything that happens in between the prosecution being done and then the defense starting? Do they say anything or anything like that, or they just go right into calling their own witnesses up? Because I haven't watched the trial from start to finish because they're so goddamn long. See you, Teresa. Appreciate you for stopping by. Enjoy your Saturday. Man, it's so fucking nice out. So nice. Take a motion to dismiss, I believe. Yeah, but I think, I don't know. I have a feeling that Bev wants everything to be rode out into the ground. And she ain't looking too good either. Like I said, when she threw her papers down after the defense wanted to present that text about, the guy on the lawn, and Bev freaked out, that's when I was like, yeah, I don't like her at all anymore. She's definitely biased. Because this is all going to make her look bad in the end as well, and she knows it. It's going to make the whole. It's going to make everybody look bad. So maybe she's just trying. She's on damage control as well, like Lolly. Because I haven't heard any proof or any eyewitness or anything that saw Karen hit John or anything. I mean, has anybody heard anything? I mean, we're going on what, week 4? Is this week 4 we're going on here? And I thought like the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks was supposed to be like the prosecution's best witnesses and damning defense. Has anybody heard anything? Zero. Like, I mean, I know we heard of a blob, but that was the first time that she's ever made that statement ever. I mean, not even in front of the grand jury did she say that. No proof at all. I mean, this is. I hope she sue. I hope she can sue, but I hope she sues the county or the everybody, the Commonwealth, everybody. I hope she sues them all, just for putting her through this, because I'm sure this is all costing her a lot of money, especially Alan Jackson. I'm sure he's not cheap. Poof. By any means. Lolly flop. I like that. Lolly flop. I've been calling him Lolly. Hey Vix, I've been calling him Lolly Gag. But I like Lolly flop. All right, let me try one more time. What, is everybody scared to come up and talk to me like I bite or something like that? This is unbelievable. Seriously, this is unfucking believable. I'm just kidding. It's a beautiful day anyway, so I don't blame y'all. Karen's a million exactly. So right there goes the bullshit motive for life insurance, right? She didn't need money, but yet she gunned it in reverse, and she's so good. She's so drunk out of her mind. She was so good to keep her car perfectly still, hit John and not swerve off into the yard and get stuck, or hit the mailbox, or hit the pole, or whatever else was around her. Really? She was that with it? Yet they're trying to say she was obliterated and doesn't remember anything? Sheesh. You're a two-bird of a star first passes. Let's say that, man. I love having conversations with everybody. Like, I'll shut up and just let anybody talk. I just want to hear, other people's opinions out of their mouth. Because this is crazy. Us as Americans should be pissed that they're trampling all over the Constitution here and people's rights. And if nobody pays a price for this, then they better have a huge riot, or not. I'm sorry. I take that back. I strike that. YouTube, not a riot, a huge protest in Boston of not just hundreds of people in pink shirts, like hundreds of thousands of people. Bang, bang, girls. You Vantage boys. Hey, Manny Joe. Pull up, Vantage boys. Pussies. Bang, bang. It was funny that everybody was like, "Oh, bang bang means a gun." No, it doesn't. He was trying to say bang bang like 1-2, like a 1-2 punch. That pussy don't have a gun. He's 20 now, so listen, Colin. You ever see this too? Open invitation, baby. Anytime, anywhere. Closed environment. In a ring with witnesses. We can sign whatever forms. I don't give a shit. You're 20. Even if you didn't do this, just your attitude. Piece of shit. Sorry. I'm just a little angry. Willie, where do you watch the trial? Well, I'm a weirdo, okay? And I'll admit it. Some people might do it as well. They might admit it as well. But I like to watch. I start at Lana's, right? And I like to watch, but usually I miss it. I miss the first hour or two, so I always have to watch it like sped up. And then I watch like a little bit of Lana's, and then usually Lana's like ahead of everybody else. And then I'll try to go back and watch the few others that I like that cover it, and then watch their reaction to the bombshells that are dropped. That's what I like doing. And one of the funniest people, I think, like there's a couple people I like, but Emily Baker has a funny reaction when like shit like that hits the fan. She has like this button and shit, and she goes all nuts. So I just like to go to different especially people that know law and stuff, when they hear about the solo cups and hear about this and hear about that. So I'm everywhere. No, Twiz don't want to talk to me. He's probably hungover. Spur my boys. Hey Willie, did you get perspective on video I sent you? Oh, Mandy, was that the one showing the yard? Because I was tired as shit last night, and I opened up an email, and the one thing didn't open, but then I clicked on something that was like a Google thing, and I could like move my phone and see the yard and stuff like that. I didn't realize how far away the flagpole and shit is from, like, in the perspective of the yard. I thought it was way more like the middle of the yard, which it makes sense on why she's dropping them off there, but it makes no sense why she would drop him off all the way down at the flagpole for him to fucking walk through the yard or all the way back, instead of just dropping him off, Even if even if the parking lot was full of cars, just drop them off in front of the parking lot, and they can get out and walk right in. Yet she went all the way to the flagpole, and then no, no. It's just so convenient though when they showed us the video coming out of the cellar door. I do this. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not alone, Gypsy. When she comes out of the cellar door, not she, but when they show the cellar door video and through the back gate, it leads directly, and I mean fucking directly, to where John O'Keefe was found. Exactly. Yeah, that was wild when I saw that, Mandy. And I don't know why the defense. I mean, I'm sure the defense will, but hopefully the defense shows that and shows how far that pole is away from, like, especially any view from anybody in the home. Like, who the fuck's seeing that? Nobody. Didn't not again. I don't know if this is true or not, but did anybody claim in the house that they could see the flagpole from where they were sitting? I don't believe so, right? But yeah, they would. Yeah, they would have to because that's where. Or no? Are they saying she was parked at the flag? I'm so confused. I had no idea what that's not the yard. Yeah. Hey, hey! Don't say that. Not Matty boy. Matt McCabe fucking has vision better than an eagle. He could see tire marks from fucking the inside of a light home while drunk. Like, yeah, okay, bud. Yeah, he needed to bring his phone in, which I want to ask you guys about that in a little bit too, because I'm quite pissed off about that as well. Yes, the cellar was a bombshell. Hell yeah! I hope they have more footage of the house. Yeah, no, yeah, he's again, I don't know. It just seems like he's an entitled dickhead because he knows that he can do whatever he wants, and his uncle or daddy or whatever is going to get him off. Well, there you go. You just said, look at that. Great minds think alike, brother. Yeah. Well, how about who was interviewed like while the trial started? Who was that? Anybody remember? Somebody was interviewed like May 9th or something like that. May 9th, while the trial has already started and they were already on the witness list. I mean, talk about not being able to prep a witness. Holy shit. No wonder why Lolly's getting obliterated. He's just throwing people up there to the wolves. Hey, you go. You go. It's like being in war and they're sending you in to just get killed. Like, you're next. You're next. Like, holy Nikes. And all Lolly tries to do is minimize the damage that the defense is going to do on Cross instead of, again, trying to prove Karen guilty. And he's lost complete focus of any of that. They should just end the trial now, because it's only going to get worse and worse and worse for the prosecution and everybody around. Nobody, Brian. You break your fucking wrist. Oh, and now I can say this because I said it a little bit yesterday, but so when I used to hit the bag, I always wrap my knuckles. Okay, but say I didn't, right? And you you rip your knuckles open like that, which I have getting in a fight. Okay, think of how much we use our hands for everything we do. I mean, right now, I don't know if some people are holding their phones, right? But look at the portion of your knuckle where his injuries were, and then I'm sure like what some people do, like me, is you take your left hand, you take your phone, put it in your left hand, and say you want to take a sip. Now, bang! I just took a sip of my water. and that took me using my knuckles, and then bang, I'm putting my hand. So I'm using all my knuckle in every single thing I do. All those portions that he's saying that the one expert on Court TV is trying to say, they were too fresh or whatever bullshit she was saying. Your knuckles take way more time to heal than, say, you get something on like a paper cut or something on the back of your hand or something that's not like in your joints or your knuckles or anything like that, because you're using it. So obviously you keep tearing it and tearing it and tearing it, and you're giving it no time to scab. So I don't know who the fuck he's fooling, but if he truly fell on concrete, that means the whole back of his hand up to his last knuckle should have been all scraped up, because that means he put the back of his hand down or put his nut or his, and his wrist would be broken. So again, that was a terrible story. He should have just stuck with the fucking story of hitting a heavy bag, which is it's not believable to me, because I've hit a heavy bag many times without gloves, and as soon as I cut my knuckle, like, it hurts. Like that shit, like that little flesh wound and shit hurts. And when you continually hit the bag after that, I mean, you must be a psychopath to just keep going and fuck up your knuckles like that. So that's why I don't believe him. Willie, are you deadly with both hands? I used to be, but I mean, obviously it sticks with you. So I'm equally as, how can I say this? I throw just as good as a jab with my left as I do with my right. Just as good as a hook, just as good as an uppercut, but I throw a better haymaker with my right than my left, obviously. Fall like you're holding a fishbowl, Willie. Well, I also don't believe it, because what he said, he had his phone in he's a righty. He said his dominant hand is his right hand. So if he puts why is his phone in his left hand when he's falling? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I haven't used 99% of the time I'm using my phone in my right hand, because I'm right-handed. Ambidextrous. So now he's ambidextrous because they asked him. He said he's right-handed. He should have said ambidextrous. Again, these people catch themselves in a web of lies, and they don't even realize it. They don't realize the defenses are asking them questions that the defense already knows, and they're going to prove it when their case comes. And they just fall right into it, fall right into it, fall right into it. They think that the defense is just accepting their answer. They have no idea what's coming. No idea. I'm a lefty. Yeah, Skylar. And what phone do you use, or what hand do you use to use your phone? It's game. Yeah, Lola. It's done. It's done, and it's going to be done quick too. Which I hope it's not. I hope it drags on for days, because I want to see her suffer. I want to see her suffer just as much as she put her best friend through, if you even want to fucking call it that. They gathered around the tail light. How can you say that when there's video evidence showing otherwise? You sicko. Man. I said, be careful who you surround yourself with. I want to watch every day of the trial, but it's so long. Yeah, but that's why, again, dude, just to be honest, I might have watched 10% of Lolly's like directs so far. Like, I don't even watch the directs. I just wait until Cross comes, and then I'll come back and watch Cross, because Lolly doesn't make any fucking good points, and he's boring, and except when I said 90% because I wanted to hear what Jen had to say and all the bullshit lies she made up. But yeah, I definitely don't listen to Lolly, bro. He's too fucking boring. There's no point to watch direct. Yeah, he's not saying nothing. He's not proving nothing. And all he does is bleed out that clock to get to a point to where the defense has no time for a cross and they have to wait till the next day. But again, I think this time it backfired, and the defense now is sitting there watching her whole testimony over and over and over and over, comparing it to the facts. And I think they have multiple papers front and back of bullet points of what she lied about. Like hundreds of things that she's lied about. Not one or two, where it's like, oh, okay, it's just an impeach. This is bad. And again, if I was a huge channel, I wouldn't be saying all this, but I'm nobody, and I heard they all watch channels and shit. I'm sure they don't watch mine, so I don't give a fuck. But yeah, Jen, you're screwed, baby. You're done. And like I said, you look absolutely perfect in a straitjacket or a yellow jumpsuit or whatever other fucking color. So that's perjury, right? Like, is that like? I mean, people say it takes a lot for somebody to be convicted of perjury. Like, at what level is it? Oh, am I? Where am I at, Kels? I can't click off here, or else it's going to kick me out of here. I got a message about something about memberships or something, but I have to take a video myself and send it to YouTube or something like that. And I've never talked into a screen before, so I gotta figure out how to do that. TikTok, and I'm not used to that. I know a lot of people do that, but I'm not good at that. 9:30. All right. Okay, we're getting there. 9:29, 9:30. Take it. Oh yeah. Did anybody hear when did anybody hear Matt McCabe say, "Oh my God," when he handed the papers back to the judge after they read the Asian house comment? He was like, "Oh my God," because he realized they had the group chat. He was like, "Fuck me." Oh man. Oh, that was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And then okay, you heard it too, Skylar. Yeah, if anybody hasn't subbed yet, you're coming in, please do. Unless you don't like me, then don't. I understand. It's all good in the hood. Yeah. Fucking the Greek couple. What the fuck is up with that? No, I'm not gonna lie. I don't mind Greek couple, but the Asian house. So I look at that as, okay, do they label all their neighbors and everybody in their community by their race? Like the Asian house, the Jewish house, the black house, the Spanish house, the whatever. Like, is that how these people communicate? Because I know a lot of people, some people were like, oh, the jury's not going to take that so too bad, whatever. But how doesn't that show the character of everybody in that group chat? Really? It shows me, instead of saying, I don't know what the people's last names were, but say it's, I don't want to be disrespectful, but say it's Lee, right? We're outside of the Lee's house and the cops are here. That's what's wrong with that? Or we're outside of the fucking address and the cops are here. You have to classify them as the Asian house. Weird, man. As a Greek, I approve of calling us Greeks. Alp, you're Greek as well? Tikanis Malaka. Yeah, I don't care being called, a Greek or the Greeks, or, I mean, what are you gonna call us? But like Asians, I don't know what that means. Asia's big. Asia consists of multiple countries. So to me, that's disrespectful, because everybody in Greek, we're all Greek. You know what I mean? Two of them are. There's two jurors from the Asian descent, but they're Asian Americans, obviously. But yeah, which I think is why Bev freaked the fuck out. She's like, no, 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 get that out of here. It's like, why? Let them show the character of these pigs. You know, they want to get up on stand with their fancy suits and fancy fucking bow ties and sweater vest and whatever other bullshit they want to try to portray. Let the real character come out in those group texts. Let it go. Show your mouth, Bev. Show your mouth. You know what? Now that I go back and look at Maddie, Maddie looks like a Wish version of a obese John Travolta at like some angles in his face. Really, you don't know any other Greek people like at all? You have to know. You know, you have to know some other Greek people, right? Unless we're getting extinct, I don't know. We're becoming extinct. Psst. Listen, you were just meowing to go inside. Okay, there you go. My Uber driver did a Malacca thing today. Really? Vaticano is Malacca. Asia could be Indian, Chinese, Korean, Eastern, Russian. Yeah, they're just like in front of the Asian house. Like, Jesus mighty. It's just, again, that whole, and there's other messages in that chat. Like, I forget. I forget what channel had like a whole slideshow of them. I don't know if I screenshotted it or not, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of other stuff in that group chat as well. And then when I saw the packet of them, I was like, "Hooey! I cannot wait till they all come out." I really can't. My lamb chops will give you a well. Nice, nice. Yep. And what about the Jeep? Is Maddie the only one that saw a Jeep? Yeah. Tell me the food wasn't fire, Kyle. Welcome to the channel, by the way, bud. And like I said, if everybody can like the stream, I'd appreciate it. I'm gonna drop the link one more time. I'll tell you what, this is tiring. Maybe I get like maybe one or two mods or something. I think one or two mods would be good, you know. But like, you know, mods can't do anything unless somebody goes haywire. So if anybody has any interest in being a mod or whatever, you could send me an email and I'll do like a route. I'll figure it out. But I think it'd be good to have a mod because I can only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 messages at a time, and if people send messages at the same time, then it refreshes and I miss a lot of them, and I don't want people being disrespectful. Why won't Twiz go up? Like I say, he's probably hungover. He drank. He doesn't really drink, and he drank. It sounded like he drank a shit ton of rum last night. Hey, Vix. Vix will come up with me. Look at that. She a real one.
Yeah, I'm real. Hang on.
What up, Vix?
How you going?
How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm good.
Let me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Maybe it's me. Let me turn you up just a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, a little low.
Little bit.
Yeah, a little low.
Is it me? Maybe I'll turn up this thing.
Listen, as I'm doing this, let me know. So we're going into week 4. Okay, I know you've heard my opinion on this. All right, what are your thoughts on, you know, where this is going? Do you think the prosecution, you know, is going to have a case when they start calling their experts up to show that a car might have did this,
I think,
or
yeah,
what do you
I
think?
think that they're going to be hard pushed, really, because the evidence that the prosecution is presenting, if I was on the jury, um, there isn't any at the moment. So bringing up experts would be, I suppose, kind of futile initially until they, I don't know what they're going to do, have half an hour of saying, right, this is what happened and this is how the car did it. And here's all the cracked pieces. And this is what we're going to, yeah, nobody saw anything. Nobody heard anything. I don't know how they're going to, it's going to be a bit confusing for the jury. And plus, I think with the 4 days, that can go for or against with our Jen sitting there. I'm hoping that because he's on his game, this Jackson fella. Um, I don't think that I think that might have frustrated them. I know that everyone in the chat that I was in was going, oh, for God's sake, give it a break, Lally. I mean, he was literally asking questions like, did you clean your teeth that morning?
Yeah.
All the questions that are really irrelevant. It was just going on and on. Everyone was going,
What
get
did
off
you
and
put?
let,
Did you
even
stop
if
for
he'd made a
gas? Yes.
start.
What type of gas did you put in your car? Like
Yeah,
what? But here's the thing. Why why does a judge get mad at Yannetti for asking pertinent questions that has to do with what the witness is seeing, but she won't tell Lally to hurry it the
yeah.
fuck up?
I know, and always hurrying him along. And
Yeah,
yet,
it was.
I did know, and only because I think she is human. Saying to Lally, "Can we
You
forget the
weren't being
weather girl? We've
disrespectful to
been
us.
through this."
Mm.
Yeah, it was quite funny, and it is very entertaining. I've got to say, I'm finding. Um, and even all the little nuances with the law. I was surprised that it's his first murder trial, being that he's normally RTA, like um, on the civil side. So it must be he's so detailed because it's usually insurance. And so he's not really getting to, that's what I mean. The jury's probably thinking they're either bored or what I'm saying is by the time they're bringing some
I hope so,
experts,
Matthew.
hang on a minute, we want to see the crime. Just show us the crime, show us how it happened. To go from this shit show straight to an expert is going to be a bit confusing. But hey, um, maybe the rest of the week
Well,
he'll
I was confused.
come
I was
about.
confused why Lolly. I was confused why Lolly just all of a sudden, because he was calling like kind of everybody from the house, and he was on a roll, and then all of a sudden he calls
Mm,
the the DNA expert to the stand about the dog.
the animals. Yeah.
Yeah, like out of
That was
nowhere,
interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
he just calls her up.
Out of the blue. Yeah. Um, yeah, and knowing full well that it wouldn't glean anything, and it took ages, and then suddenly with the pig thing,
No idea,
and
Gypsy.
everyone knows that if you give a dog, any dog, like a pig's ear, you're going to find that dog is spoiled or full of treats that come from that. I don't know how much of it is pig, but anyway.
Uh,
And it was there to control the jury off. Although um, defense, wouldn't they have their experts as well? And that was kind of a revelation to know where and if the dog actually exists. And that little dig that Jackson, I think it was Jackson, said it to, was it Maddie or one of the girls? And did you take the dog home with you? Because Turtle Boy had been to her place and had this great big dog, and so it's not clear that the dog is actually in Vermont. And would they have to? Would they have to turn that over? Would they have to, say whether like will they get the dog on the
well, here's my
stand?
thing. Well, here's my thing, right? The FBI is watching, so I know a lot of people think, oh,
Mm,
if Karen walks, that the FBI is not going to do anything to anybody else. My ass. Okay,
my
and the
ass,
dog,
yeah.
and I
Mhm.
think the FBI can make whoever either come clean about where the dog is, what happened to the dog, so on and so forth. Because, do you really think the dog's in Vermont? Because I don't.
I don't know how that just how it got blurted out. It's in Vermont, and maybe Vermont is a lovely place, and it makes her sound as though, she'd done the right thing by the dog. But there was no, why did you do that? And after all them years, I think it was 8 years, who does that? So yeah, it's a bit like they hid the dog and they hid Colin, and nobody talk about the dog, and nobody talk about Colin, and you can bet your life that that is how it all started. And my theory is that the dog attacked John as he come in, being a stranger, because clearly nobody knew him that well, and the dog certainly wouldn't have done. And he sounds like he was a little bit tetchy, wasn't he? He was a little bit of a dog that you wouldn't run up to and kind of pet or whatever.
Mhm.
So he was a definite German Shepherds are like that, and they're
Yeah.
lovely. They really are. They're all bark. But and I think that if Colin had a bit of a drink in him, it would have been, don't know, you can't do that with me. And kind of got involved somehow and protected the dog, if you like. And John would have by then been in a bit of a situation if the dog had attacked him, and Colin would have
Mhm.
sided with the animal, if you like, and it would have got really bad from then on.
I
But
just can't
there's
understand what the
something
fuck.
that tells you that Mm,
I just can't
mm.
I can't understand what the fuck Lally says sometimes. Like sometimes it sounds like he's mumbling.
Well, she asked him, didn't she, to speak up a bit, because I think there's been a few complaints, because there's no way that you can't hear
Don't say
Karen's
that,
team at
Lola.
all. They're very clear. Even the baby lawyer, she's pretty good. I think when she's nervous, this must be her first or second rodeo, whatever. And it's interesting that even she can hold her own. And yet, like you say, Lally gets up and it's a mumble. You really have to. And as we know, the subtitles don't help a bit, do they? I mean, he's really trying to hear what the questions are, and yet
Mhm.
the witnesses are clear, the other side are clear, but for some reason his the audio on, and she hasn't got that memo. It's
Yeah.
I think she say
I think the
something.
jury, to be honest, I think the jury just doesn't give a fuck what he's saying anymore.
I think they're asleep. I would be.
Seriously, I think he's
And
lost the jury.
yeah, in a way, yeah, I reckon. And also, that's what I do now. If I'm late, or a bit behind, I just forward through his shit, because it's just not.
Oh,
You might
no,
as
I'll
well
fall
wait
asleep.
until cross.
I have
Um,
fell asleep. Like I
and
have fell asleep
yeah,
and I've woke up
unless
mid
you,
trial.
yeah, and rewind.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then I rewind and I have to watch it at
it's so
1.5. I
intense.
mean, you could watch him on 2 times the speed and he'll sound like a regular individual. Because he's sitting there like
Yeah,
this,
even
and
yeah.
again, Karen backed up, and we're gonna prove that she hit his car,
Mm,
hit him. Like, yo, speak the fuck up, bro. Have some confidence, man.
mm,
You know,
yeah.
and
Do
then
you
you,
think
and then
it's Do you think, yeah? Is it deliberate? Do you think? I mean,
I think it's a lack of
it could.
confidence he has that Karen actually did this. To be honest with you,
Yeah, you've got to believe what you're saying, haven't you? Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, definitely.
you know, at some point,
Mm.
I'm sure he realized, damn, and now he has the FBI working against him. Like that has to be a shitty feeling.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that until about a week in, that there was this. How does that work? What is it like? Why are they doing a
So
separate?
basically, the FBI can launch their own investigation into this, and they have already
Mm,
concluded that Karen Reed's vehicle is not is not the vehicle that struck or whatever that struck John O'Keefe. So the FBI has already concluded that basically it
mm,
wasn't Karen, but they're letting this trial happen and her be potentially prosecuted while they're doing their own investigation into these other fucking people who I'm assuming the FBI thinks is involved. So that's what I'm trying to figure out the clusterfuck.
yeah, it's crazy.
Like, why isn't
Yeah,
the FBI
because
coming
I'd
up and
love.
saying, "Yo, like, why isn't the FBI coming forward like they should and say,
Mm,
and I know this isn't how it works, and say, hey, listen, dude, like we conducted the investigation, it wasn't her, let her out. Like, why not? Like, why can't
yeah.
they do that?
Well, it's a waste of money unless, I suppose, if they wait until their investigation, let's face it, they've had enough time.
Exactly,
Um,
man.
why don't they just sort of wait until that's over with and then see whether it's worth doing all of this? Because I'm not, but that lady is, she's beautiful and she's starting to look tired. She always has that lovely smile and she's trying to be upbeat and
Well, like I
you
said,
can
this
tell
this
now
is the
it's
part.
getting
This
into.
is the part where she has to
Mm,
watch her so-called friends sit up there and make fabricated stories, and she has to sit there and shut her mouth.
mm,
Do you know how hard that is?
mm. I feel so gutted. And when I see Jono, like his brother, literally, I mean, they're inches away from each other and he's boring that look into the side of her head. I'm hoping that she blows him a
Oh,
kiss back one
you
day,
talking about you talking about Paul Keefe?
because I'm, well, yeah, it's not fair. They should move him, And I know
Exactly,
that
man.
obviously if he feels that but give her a break, man. That's
Yeah.
why he I hope he's not in that group. I hope he's beginning to see the evidence that it's all bullshit.
Well,
Um,
like I said, I
because
know his mom. In my opinion, I know his mom isn't believing it, but I think Paul is
I
maybe
know.
friends with some of the people. I don't know. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not too sure.
She's another outsider, isn't she? She's another, she came into the frame and from what the good things you hear about her with the lockdown and taking the
Really, Cole?
patients to
Hmm.
teachers, sorry, children that aren't her own, and doing so well for that girl that got into that school and these lovely things you hear about. They kind of creep in, and it's like, how can you not hear these things? And if she was a bit remiss or whatever, but that's the thing. If she'd have bumped him, I reckon she'd have known and gone, "Oh my God, what have I just done?" But
Hmm.
I've been in, I don't know, all kinds of, I would never dream of doing that. In no way. That's just, it's farcical. I find it,
It's
and
crazy.
it's going to be
But real
hard
quick,
to believe.
there's
Yeah.
225. I can't see how many likes are on this video. Maybe somebody
Really?
or
Oh,
this live. Maybe
blimey.
somebody maybe somebody can tell me. But there's 200 almost 230 people in here. If everybody can just maybe take a moment and put your touch DNA on that like button for me,
Yeah.
I
And
I'd appreciate it.
subscribe. We're nearly there. We're
And
nearly at
sub, of course.
1,000. Come on.
Listen, if you're not
Yeah.
subbed,
Yeah.
if you're not subbed already, what are you doing? You know,
What are you doing
come
with your
on, we're chill over
malakas?
here.
What are you? Yeah. I don't
We're
even
all
know what that means.
we're all chill over here.
We
How
all
you
are.
doing? 92 likes. Yeah, I'm about to end the stream. Fuck this.
There
236
you go.
people
You're
watching.
doing great.
92 likes. Really? This is how I'm treated?
Yeah. No, you're doing good. It's only
Wow.
been weeks, hasn't it, Willie? You've not been
I don't know.
doing
I'm
it
just
that
listen.
long, have you?
I'm always yeah, but I'm always joking around. You know
Just
me.
a few
I don't
weeks.
really listen. The subs, all that
I know.
stuff.
I
You know,
do. I
it's
do.
all great. You know, but like all that, me being here with you guys and being able to have a
Mm.
conversation with like um, individuals that are
Yeah.
fun to talk to and not afraid to be opinionated and stuff like that.
Mm.
That's what I get enjoyment out of. You know what I mean?
That's it. It's only ideas, isn't it?
Because I
And a
learned
few
from all you
theories
guys.
chucked in.
You know.
Yeah, oh, that's nice. Well, I mean, you're enthusiastic. Yeah, I think
Hey,
your channel
bang!
will go far.
Thank you, everyone.
You'll be waiting for the next one, and yeah, we'll be there because it does help to talk about
Hmm.
these things. After all, it's justice, and anyone could find
Yeah,
themselves at the rear end of an SUV, one
yeah.
day, and
Well,
or
I'm just so glad that
driving.
like there's been so many people that have reached out to me and said that basically finding my channel and hearing kind of just how I talk and how I just say whatever, that they feel more comfortable now
Yeah.
voicing their opinion out in the community and stuff like that. And like I said, if I could just change one person, like that gives them a little more confidence to voice their opinion. Hey, I did my deed for the day. You know what I mean? And that's, I'm not looking
Mm.
to fucking, you know, uh, be the deciding factor in this
No,
trial. No,
you're not laying down the law, are you? No,
no.
you're not laying down the law. And it's a way to get through anything sinister like this. We're all human,
Hey,
and to see it
25,
for
let's
what it is,
go.
because it is drama, isn't it? So,
Yeah, well,
but
that's why, again,
and we could all, any of us, be in it.
well, that's why I
Mm,
stay away from all that. Like I said, when I hear, oh, Willie, somebody's doing this or somebody's said this about you and all that kind of stuff, whatever. Oh,
mm,
listen, everybody,
yeah,
all I don't block anyone. Nobody has been blocked by me ever. So every single one of these people,
no,
if they disagree with me or they have something to say, my panel, you understand, my
yeah,
panel's always open. I'm not afraid to have an argument because of how it might look to the chat
mm,
and all that kind of shit that people care about. That's not me. Everybody knows that.
mm,
That's not me. If you have a problem with me, here's the panel. Come up,
yeah,
we'll settle it, and then that's it. We're not going to do this whole
yeah,
meet each other on different fucking streams and disrupt people's streams and shit like that. No, come over to mine.
mm,
We'll handle it and we'll move the fuck on. That's it.
yeah. It,
Yeah.
it's
Okay, Stevie.
called civilization and diplomacy. Yeah, and you're from, the Greek origins, so that's where democracy comes from. You can tell I
Exactly.
had
And that's why I get
a
so irritated
conversation with that
because
cab driver.
well, that's why I get so irritated when
Yeah.
people say, and no offense, Twiz, I know you were just fucking around, but when people say like, what's so good about going back to Greece?
Mm,
Money isn't everything. Okay, our
mm,
economy is not good at all here, as much as people want to believe it is. All right.
mm,
Now, is Greece struggling a
mm,
little bit? Of course. What country isn't struggling? All right.
mm,
But in Greece, all
yeah,
right, it's about the morals. It's about the families sticking together. It's about you
mm,
have two generations, generations of family in a big home that live together and help each other out and are respectful towards each
yeah,
other. And like I said, and what's more important is the voting. When they vote, they ask the
mm,
people. Okay, when they switched
mm,
the currency from drachmas to euro, they asked the people yes
because,
or no. And I
yeah,
went over.
you said
I went
no.
over. I went to
Mm,
Greece during this time of crisis, and guess what? There was no
mm,
riots. Okay, there was no
no.
people burning stuff down. I saw one spray
Mm,
paint of the Greek letter that says, that means no on one building the
mm,
whole 2 weeks I was there. That's it. It's all about how people act, how people
yeah.
treat each other. Okay, and that to me is more important than any fucking type of economy or money. Okay, I'll figure it out, but I,
It's
I can't I can't stand
yeah.
here
We're
and watch
civilized.
a country try to prosecute multiple
Mm,
people on some bullshit just so they have a
mm,
conviction. And I'm talking about Karen
mm.
Reed, and I'm talking about Richard Allen, and I'm talking about Brian Koberger, and I'm talking about everybody else who we don't even know about that's going through this.
And I was interested, like it blew me away that 95% of the convictions and even sort of getting to court, because normally they plea, go through and people are locked up,
That's
and
right,
I
Charlie.
think that maybe it's catching on. It's catching on that you can defend yourself, but obviously you've got to have that money and to get a good one. But I love it that Koberger's doing it on the state's money. I love it. I think it's great because it's so obvious that
Yeah. Well,
well, in my
yeah,
opinion.
but think of this. Think of this. Imagine
Mm,
if Brian was able to
mm.
afford Yannetti, Jackson, and the chick. Like, imagine
Oh,
that.
we wouldn't be here. No.
See what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They
I
wouldn't
mean,
play
we
nice
could
like
be.
fucking
I'm not
ants
saying
playing
that
nice.
she's not any good.
I
Yeah,
know,
but
I know,
it's
but I'm
dangerous
saying,
when you're doing that.
I
Yeah.
understand that she's
Yeah.
worked with, Bill Thompson. They've worked together on people taking pleas, and I get that, but it took her a little while to be
Mm,
like, yo, fuck him. But yet, if you had a private
yeah.
attorney, they'd come in right off the bat and be like, hey, Your Honor, this ain't right, that ain't
Mm.
right, this ain't right. No, this shit ain't flying. You got a problem with
That's
it? We're
right.
going to the Supreme Court with it. Do something.
And the Constitution is beautiful, and it's like it don't matter what or where you come from. um, if you stick to it, then every time he gives it one side, she'll just come back with him. That PCA thing was a bit weird.
Hmm.
That it's not necessary or it's not going to be allowed, I haven't looked at it properly, but I'm thinking, what's that all about? It's
Beautiful.
just how he was arrested, but it's the grand jury thing and the
Really, let
preliminary.
let Kyle in.
Mm,
Kyle.
is Carl coming up? Let me go down, and I'm
No, no,
happy
no, no,
to
no, no,
have
no, no.
had our
Are
little
you,
chat.
no, you're good.
um,
I didn't.
I know I'm going to do.
I don't see. There's nobody in backstage, so I'm
Oh,
gonna drop the
okay,
link.
sorry. I thought,
I'm gonna drop the link
yeah,
again. No, listen. I
great.
don't mind having a couple people on panel. Come on now.
Yeah,
I can.
well,
I
that's
can.
it. I
I can
mean, you
quadruple
might.
task.
Yeah, you're getting good at this. Yeah, I think
Yeah, right. I'm doing this on a phone.
sometimes. Oh, are you? You're gonna
Yeah.
have to. You're gonna
Listen, if
need
I
a
had
bigger
a whole
boat, really.
setup, I'd be on. I'd turn my camera. I'd have a nice chair, my camera on, stuff in the background. I'll get there. It's
Yeah,
just I gotta find time
yeah.
to make that setup and do all that stuff. It's just remember, I'm a full time
Hmm.
single father. That's
Mhm.
the little time I have,
Mhm.
I'm trying to get everything
Yeah.
done. And most of the time
Mm.
I'm talking when I'm on Dinky's panel. I know everybody thinks I'm just up there for 5 hours just sitting on my ass. I'm muted. I mute myself half the time because I'm doing stuff. You know what I mean?
You're making
Um,
food and
yeah. So it's
stories
finding the
and
time for all this. But I'd
yeah.
love
No,
to. Like I'm
it's
jealous of all
yeah.
everybody that has like the cool intros and
Yeah.
just all the cool stuff. But you know,
Yeah. Well, you can get your daughter to help you with that. See what she thinks. And then
yeah, she would love
obviously,
that.
if you've got all the other things going on, yeah, she would. And
Yeah.
you've got all because she obviously thinks you're the absolute. I want to swear, but she thinks you're the business, and yeah, to involve her in that, she'd be thrilled to
Oh yeah, my
bits. I
daughter would be
reckon.
happy. Yeah, make like a background or
Yeah,
something.
and it's priorities, like you say, and I'm pretty sure you'll find the time, and all of us would be happy with
Right, I'm
that. I'm
definitely a
pretty
cat
sure.
dad as well. But my cat, listen,
Mm.
my cat pisses me off 10 times more than my daughter pisses me off. Like, I swear, because this cat, because like I said, I bottle fed this cat. So, when she was just
Wow.
literally, I could, fit her in my palm. And when I found her and I bottle fed her. So now it's like
Mm.
everywhere I go, everything I do, she needs to be there. Like, it's, it's crazy. I can't even explain it. I know people have
Well,
cats that follow
you
them
are
around,
that.
but this is different.
They both love you to bits and rely on you, obviously. And
Yeah.
yeah, you're doing a
But I
great
can't do
job.
nothing. I
And
can't.
so
I
what?
can't. I can't go to the bathroom. I can't come outside and close the door. I can't. I can't go anywhere.
I had all
You
that
know,
this weekend. I was in the loo, and the two of them. I had them
she
like
owns me.
overnight, and we went to the park. Yeah, but it's the way they're not nanny, nanny. And you're on the loo, and you remember that from when yours were little, and you never had 2 minutes, to yourself. But yeah, it was great to give them back this afternoon. It was quite
Welcome to
nice.
Mother Willie.
Um, But I get it. You're especially at that age, and even cats. I don't know. I don't think I'd have the hassle these days. Although people say, well, now you
Thank you, Brian.
you'll be a cat lady. But no, it's all good. I think yeah, when you're ready, sort of thing. But you're doing a great job if you're only on your phone.
Yeah, like I just like to chat with everybody, and just kind of get my opinion out there, and because again,
Mm.
this is messed up, and I just wanted to make sure everybody's kind of seeing what I'm seeing here, and I'm not going crazy because
Yeah. How do you see Tuesday going then? Do you think Tuesday he'll be on it? Like, have they finished their bit, or
Here's
is
here's what I
Lally
will
going to
say.
carry on?
Here's what I will say. Don't expect Alan Jackson's. Uh,
Mm,
you'll never get blocked here, Hark. I expect Alan Jackson's cross examination to go
mm,
well past Tuesday.
really?
Tuesday is just going to be Tuesday is just going to be an appetizer. There's no way in hell he's getting his whole cross examination done on Tuesday unless he gets an hour and a half in and she fucked herself so bad where they can impeach her right
Mm.
away. I don't know. I don't know how that all
Like
works.
with her husband. I liked the way he finished, like on her husband. I'm done. It was so good. And then, yeah, we're done here, or something like that. It was
Yeah,
kind of
yeah. It's
because
like we're done here.
Bev throws in there. She's also informal. I let him have it. I let him have it. Not overruled. So I think he was just getting that point across. Yeah, we're done here, sort of
The
thing.
reason I
And
the
perhaps,
reason I don't mind, I guess I don't mind Bev as much as everybody else, because one, like I said, I know how the judge in the Richard Allen trial is acting, and then also
mm.
when Yannetti kept saying of course, and the judge was like, Mr. Yannetti, can you stop saying of
Oh
course?
yeah,
And he goes,
he went, of course.
of course, Your Honor. And then she fucking busted out laughing, and so that showed me, she's human. You know what I mean?
He's human. Yeah,
At
there
least,
are little bits that are in there. Yeah, it's funny. Oh dear, but no, you're right. He could have
what's
a.
going
Well,
on,
it's only
Kyle?
halfway, and it's only
Not
halfway.
much, sir.
Hi,
How are
Kyle.
you?
How you doing, bud? You got
How are
pants
you?
on, right? Just want to make sure.
Oh, good God.
Oh, he's frozen.
No, am I froze?
Uh,
I was showing my bridges.
it's Santa. It's
Is he
Santa
good?
Part 2.
Is he good on your end?
I can hear you fine. Can you not hear me?
There you go. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
I can hear him. Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm not frozen. It's just I tend to mumble, so my mouth doesn't move.
That's all right. What's your opinion on all this? What's going on?
Well, I'll tell you, I got
Oh, well, he's
31
a
years.
firefighter.
Yeah, I got 31 years Dallas Fire, and 3 years
Wow, thank
volunteer
you for your
before that.
service.
And yeah, I appreciate it. It was a hell of a ride. My last 7 years on staff, so I've got some time in the evidentiary and stuff too. Work with IA and things. Anyway, I came into this, neutral, maybe lean a
Hmm.
little bit towards like, okay, she probably did it. You see thousands and thousands of people brought up and they're guilty of sin.
Yeah.
But that's still reasonable doubt, right? And the longer the prosecution goes on, the more that reasonable doubt travels to absolute certainty. And I'll tell you,
Yep.
one of the first things that hit me up is I've run on thousands of motor vehicle accidents in 31 years, and dozens, if not hundreds, of motor pedestrian accidents. And when they got the EMT on the stand, they started talking about the injuries they saw. I
What's
immediately knew it was a
CMP?
motor pedestrian. EMT is emergency medical
Okay.
technician. Is what they were. I was a paramedic,
Mhm.
tactical paramedic, spec ops guy, um,
Mhm.
and a firefighter, of course. And she,
Mhm.
when she started describing the multiple angles and different intensities of the trauma and stuff, especially above the waist, everything above the
Hmm.
waist, I'm like, that's not a car collision. And
Sure.
then the prosecution shows that nice little photo from the Sally Port with a broken tail light, but no other damage to the fender, and they supposedly knocked the guy 12 feet off into the yard. Uh, like I said, I've answered dozens, if not hundreds, of motor vehicle pedestrian accidents, and you don't do that without dinging some sheet metal.
Hmm.
And then when they finally did find the fine, air quotes, the broken pieces of tail light, they found it around where the body was lying. That didn't happen either. If you leave any
Wow.
broken tail lights or car parts, whatever, they're at the point of impact, not in the yard.
They must think we're all stupid. They
Yeah,
really
Yeah,
and
must.
then yes, ma'am, they sure must. And the
must.
daggum solo cups and grocery store bag and just on and on. I'm like,
Oh
holy
my
crap,
God.
they
Oh
are framing
man,
the
that
crap out
was
of me.
hilarious.
And then also
Yeah,
somebody else
it
made a
was
good
that.
point. If all this glass was around John, right? Okay, and the paramedics and fire, and everybody's around John and doing CPR. Why does nobody have glass or anything embedded in their kneecaps?
Well,
And that's the thing.
that's
It's not
perfectly
even glass.
explainable. I've been knee deep and stuff like that. Now, you very rarely get on your knees around an accident victim and not get covered in blood. And that's the other thing too. How much blood was on the scene? hardly any.
No.
If he had the kind
Yeah, well,
of
he's and I
internal
think there's
Only,
three
massive
kinds.
trauma
Mhm,
from an impact, and that's where he landed,
mhm.
there'd be a red circle around him 20 feet across.
That's what I mean. So where is the rest? Because people are trying to say, oh well, you know, the hypothermia set in, which made his blood thin, and that's why he had less blood. But but if he had that big of a gash in his head, wouldn't he have lost all that blood on the lawn?
Yeah,
precisely.
we've lost people to hypothermia before. We had a what we call a frequent flyer. He was an alcoholic, used to go to sleep on the park bench or the bus bench all the time, and he was in temperatures not nearly as cold. Sometime after about 1:30, he got himself drunk, laid down on the park bench, and he was frozen stiff. I mean, not
Oh,
rigor mortis stiff, frozen stiff. You know,
Jesus.
and that's how
and
it
we were
is.
like in the upper teens when that happened. So
No.
he obviously hadn't been dead that long. Number one, number two, the like I said, if he was alive when he hit, the idea of hypothermia, what it can do is your body will constrict the peripheral vascularity. In other words, your arterioles,
When
your
you talk about,
capillaries, your smaller
Mhm.
veins,
yeah,
and pull the blood into your core to keep the core going. But when things start shutting down, the body goes to try to maintain, sends all the blood and everything to maintain core systems, your lungs, your heart, your brain. So
so does that
you could be
mean that you don't bleed? Does that mean that you don't bleed so much? Is that what you're saying?
surface cuts won't bleed,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
The
Okay.
the smaller
So,
blood vessels that are around the that's under the skin, like the dog bites, wouldn't bleed that much, if that's what they are, which I
right.
think they probably are.
Okay.
They wouldn't bleed that much. If he was hypothermic when it happened, but
Yeah.
all the blood would be concentrated in his heart, his lungs, and his brain. Um, Even if he was hypothermic. So at the point of impact, he probably wouldn't have been hypothermic, right? If he
Mhm.
was out of the car, she got
Right.
mad, she flipped around the car, hit him. He wasn't hypothermic then, so where's the blood from that? Okay, let's say he's out
Exactly.
there
Yeah.
shivering in the cold, gets hypothermic, and then she hits him. You're still going to have about a 15, 20-foot circle of blood around where the head was.
But where's the blood?
Yeah.
But where's the blood trail from impact to where he landed?
Well, if he got hit hard enough to get knocked that far, there wouldn't be, right? But there would almost certainly be blood on the car,
Absolutely,
and we don't have any of that.
and
Um,
definitely some flesh.
yeah, and so after Friday, I went like, okay, now it's uh, just a surface at this point. So break out popcorn. So I started going I allowed myself to venture into the
Mhm.
all the other stuff that like Turtle Boy and what was it, Sean McDonough from DEA, the stuff got
Mhm.
into, and they have evidently a pretty good source, which I'm sure this will come up at some point, that the primary plan was to blame it on a snowplow.
Absolutely.
On a who?
On a snowplow.
Blame it on a. Oh, right.
But
Yeah.
one of their friends shows up with a
Yeah.
Jeep with a snowplow in front of it. So, oh crap, I can't do that.
Mm.
So then I think they had another intermediary plan before she ended up with Karen Reed. There's also,
Absolutely.
of course, a Celebrite. That Matt McCabe cracked me up, man. When he started looking at this text, and he's like, "What the hell?" Because he did not know they were there. Well, the feds have been on this. So if you look at the timestamps, and I've pulled lots of data from our own systems in Dallas,
Mhm.
working with
That's
FEMA,
the feds,
DHS,
right?
yeah,
I
working
knew
with
it.
FEMA and DHS, a little bit with the FBI, not much, some Secret Service, contacts, things like that, and I was a kind of point of contact when they used some information, and also worked with IA. That format is a federal. I mean, we didn't use Celebrite when we pulled our data, but of course, we had access to all the all the cell phones, so we just pulled the cell phone and did extraction that way. Yeah, it was fun. But Celebrite, that's a distinctive date time format that's set by the feds. That's how they, you know, because if you notice, it also has the GMT marker on it.
Mhm.
Okay, go into the
Yeah.
metadata on any one of your pictures or messages or anything like that, and you won't see GMT on it.
I have a question. Is he cutting out for anybody else?
Only slightly for me. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, let me turn.
But
I've got a fan blowing in my ear. Let
I'm
me turn it
keeping
off real
track.
quick.
It's very fascinating.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I hear like
fascinating.
3-4 words, and then I can't make out like the fifth and sixth, and then I try to like make it out in my head.
Okay,
So I don't know if it's a
Yeah.
connection or.
let me step off to the side and turn off the fan. And if we still have a problem, I'll go off my earbuds.
Oh, it's the fan.
Oh, you got a fan on. Yeah, it's
I
probably
think
hot.
I think it's FBI. No, I'm being silly.
It
But
is.
that's
What do you mean?
really that's fascinating. Wow. And the
Okay, is this any
metadata
better?
FBI.
thing.
Yep. Yeah, that's better. But
All right.
but in reality, that's not like it's not the FBI just is feeding the defense. It's the FBI providing information that either the prosecution or the defense can use. Correct?
Right. They both have the discovery. When they do,
Yeah.
I forget what the term is when the feds cooperate with local agencies like that and provide discovery. Discovery has to go to both sides. So the prosecution knows damn good and well that this stuff is coming in. Now, I heard what you said about Annie Bev. I've got some real problems with her. At first, I didn't, you know, but I got some real problems with her. Number one was she was okay with screenshots of unauthenticated screenshots of text coming in, but
And said
photographs,
nothing
actual
to the
photographs
jury.
with date and time and metadata showing the relationship with the EMT, she refused to let in.
Yep.
And on these texts, if you remember on the bench, she says, well, that's not coming in. And Yannetti basically demanded to be heard, and she threw the papers up and said, fine, I'll hear you at sidebar. Stops off. And I don't know what he said to her, but when they came back, that text got in.
Yeah, you saw that,
So,
right? When she said the second bubble, and then she got pissed off that United said something, and then yeah, she threw the papers down and ran over to sidebar, and I was like, "What the hell is her problem?"
well, she said that's not
Well, I'm
coming in,
beginning to
and then
learn.
Yannetti said,
Yeah.
we need to be heard on that.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
she
and they
threw
got
the
in.
papers up there. She goes, fine, I'll hear you at sidebar.
Yeah.
But here's my question: Why?
Supreme
Why?
Court.
What? She. But if something was incriminating Karen, that would be let in, no problem. But because it's incriminating to the people that the defense are pointing to, now it's an issue.
Well, it's a very incestuous setup there.
Yeah.
The anti-Bev, right, was because one of the witnesses said they call her Aunt Bev when they were giving the hearing to see if they could get her recused.
Yeah.
And so she knows the cops. She knew the Adams, and she probably knew
Doesn't
O'Keefe.
she rent? Yeah, she rents out her holiday little place down
Right.
at the Cape. Is that right?
Yeah. Right. Now, here's the thing that.
But she also has to know the feds are watching too, right? Kind of in the back of her mind.
Now they do, and I've got a theory about that too. But the one thing that popped up when I was starting to look at what the feds had was right across the street from 34 Fairview is the Canton PD deputy chief.
Yep.
I mean, the deputy chief of the
With
Canton
no
Police
ring
Department.
Is that where they got the solo cup?
And yeah, he lit the solo cups and the things. But funny enough, during that whole time, his ring camera had malfunctioned.
Wait a second. The neighbor had a ring camera
across the street, and it malfunctioned from about. They say the data is missing from about 12:30 until about 9 or 10 the next morning.
Oh my God!
This sounds a little familiar, doesn't it?
Just like it's a coincidence that 42 minutes are missing from the Sally Port.
Exactly. And the thing with Lally, I just don't think Lally's that sharp. I don't think it's the fact that he's unsure of it. I think it's sharp. I think he's sacrificial.
Yes,
This
Cole.
is this is pure speculation, right?
Uh-huh.
Lally, I think, is a sacrificial lamb. His boss knows there's a federal stuff out there, and he's burning Lally so he can see what comes in from the feds, so he gets a better idea of what his strategy has to be. That's my personal speculation.
Holy, like, listen, I think you're spot on, because that was my opinion as well. Like, Lally just seems like, he knows he's not going to win, and it's more like damage control at this point rather than, like I said, trying to prove Karen guilty. He knows he knows Karen's innocent.
It's a prosecutor's case in chief, right?
Uh-huh.
And so far, it is a defense of the Adams and McCabe's. and they're doing a damn good job of proving the defense's case.
John's house.
All those screamings, all that screaming that supposedly Jen and what was her, Carrie? Was that the other girl? Gal's name?
Carrie Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
All that screaming they heard. It's funny that no body camera anywhere picks that. I hit him. I hit him. I hit him. She's supposed to be screaming at top of the lungs.
Yes. And where is the footage in the back of the vehicle where Karen's making all these statements about her period and screaming to Jen to Google hypothermia and how long to die in cold? Because I believe, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, that when Jen explained that story, she said that Karen was sitting in the back of a cruiser, and I know damn fucking well there's a video on the back of that cruiser if that actually happened.
Well, there would be if the camera didn't malfunction. So I said there would be if the camera doesn't malfunction.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know about that. I haven't heard anything about that. But I will tell you this: she said it was by request. We're talking around 6:30 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. Funny thing, the FBI says that search was at 2:23 in the morning.
That's
2:27.
Okay, 2:27.
Wow.
Oh, forgive me, I was off 4 minutes, but
Yeah.
she's off by 4.5 hours. So,
Yeah, and people
Yeah,
think
that's
that,
a lot.
the prosecution is going to have experts to dispute that she didn't make that search at that time, which means that's saying that Cellbrite is bullshit. Which means, like I said before, they have to let everybody out of jail that they put in jail using Cellbrite.
yeah, that's if I'm not getting into politics, but the whole Fannie Willis thing. They were testifying under oath that tower GPS location on cell phones was completely unreliable, can't be trusted. So they've already got appeals in the system from several dozen cases that were put in jail because of that from her office. So same thing happens with Cellbrite, right? You say you impeach Cellbrite's reliability, which of course the FBI thinks it's okay. They use it all the time. You impeach it and you say it's completely unreliable, and the judge rules, yeah, okay, that's the case or whatever. Then guess what happens to all the other cases you prosecuted? So that's a dangerous game.
Yeah. And now like I said, being a firefighter for 31 years, you obviously have some kind of knowledge on how long it would take somebody to die in, whatever temperature you're standing in at that point in time, correct? You kind of have some kind of idea, right?
I'd say so. I've actually been hypothermic.
And that's why, and that's why I don't believe Jen's story of Karen asking her to Google that, because if they're surrounded by paramedics and cops and firefighters, why not ask them how long it takes to die in the cold or for hypothermia to set in, rather than having your friend Google it, which is the stupidest thing to do at that point in time when you have experts around you.
Well, I'll say this: the time will be different for a healthy person. It'll be longer for a fat, hairy person like myself. But it becomes much shorter when you're immunocompromised or injured.
And not only that, like that, but she did say, didn't she? She was freaking out. She was acting crazy. She was incoherent. You know, just
Well,
complete.
she
But
said a lot of things that
what
just
I
are
will
not on
do,
body camera.
and the
Her
point
MS,
is, it's,
her MS made her
and then
do it.
just went. But please, will you Google this? I mean, I'm sorry, you can't have it both ways. If everyone's thinking rationally and all of that, and you're taking you, not once did she say, "Oh, I was trying to calm her down," or anything like that. But the woman was freaking the f out.
Exactly.
But she
And
did
how
say,
would Karen know
"I'm
how
gonna
long he?
Google."
Yeah, but how would Karen know how long he's been in the fucking snow to even ask for? You know, because for all Karen knew, he could have wound up in the snow 10 minutes before she arrived there. Which, you know, why are you asking your friend to look that up if you know you think he's only been there for a couple minutes? You
Or
know what I mean?
And why
even
would
if her state
she
of mind was affected
comply?
because of
You
the
go,
MS and the
okay, come
cold,
Uh,
she wouldn't know. She wouldn't, you know, like, you know, let's
yeah.
play devil's advocate. Say at one point, could I have hit him? Did I hit him? Say that actually happened. Well, we got no recorded evidence of that, of course. Um,
No.
no, nope.
the let's say she said that. All right. So her cold, her stress, the MS is firing off. She's getting short circuits in her brain because of the myelination being, you know, demyelination in the nerves. Which is, you know, you could be both weak, confused, basically, you know, like you're intoxicated in those kind of conditions. But let's say, for instance, she said all that. She still doesn't know what time it happened. If
Yeah.
No.
if anything that Jim McCabe said was true, like I left him at the bar, then why would she think she hit him? Number one, and number two,
Yeah, what was up with that? Why would she take her to Fairview?
Why would she have any sense of time, right?
Yeah, but why? Yeah, but why is she saying I left them at the bar and then saying and then they go to Fairview and not the bar?
Well, somebody has to find the body, right?
Well, yeah, no,
And
I'm just saying chronologically. What if this is what Karen said over the phone? You know, I left them at the bar, and Jen supposedly knows nothing about it. That's what I'm saying. It's bullshit, dude. Everything Jen said up there was lies, all of it.
Oh yeah, and it was self-contradictory.
Yes.
Like I said, Jackson's going to have a field day with this lady.
Oh my god, dude! Listen, she was getting mad at Lolly. Imagine Action Jackson.
Yeah, no kidding. I got some definite Smeagol vibes off that lady.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, I could just see her up there, my precious. You know? Yeah, I had some definite bad vibes off her, but that's not here or there. So there's.
I was trying. I mean, I think it was our guy, lawyer, you know, who was saying that had they put her up before her husband, that she might have seemed a little bit more credible. But they played a wrong, and I suppose he's seeing it from that point of view, where, you know, with witnesses,
That's what I'm saying, because Lolly's not prepared. Lolly, he has no idea he has no game plan.
Well, he's got a game plan, but he doesn't know how to.
It ain't a good one.
Adapt. Doesn't know how to change it up.
Yeah.
And all the, he doesn't know how to audible.
Ask yourself this: why are we 40 witnesses in, and we have yet to hear from the ME?
Just need that bit, don't we?
Or Proctor.
We just need that. How it happened. Yeah.
Right. Now Proctor's got his own set of issues. I think the feds are crawling up his butt with a microscope. I can say butt, right?
I think so.
What'd you say?
Okay.
I've had to be.
I can say butt, right?
You say butt?
Yeah, I can say that, right?
You can say ass. You can say asshole. You can say whatever you want.
Okay. The feds are crawling up his ass with a microscope right about now.
Absolutely.
But the you know, I've been to so many scenes and have seen some really, really impressive trauma. I mean, things that didn't even look like human beings anymore.
That's right, Twizzy.
And nothing like that. Oh, I can say whatever the bleep I want. Okay, thanks. Any, anyway, but that's, I mean, that was,
And he
those
would
are
have
things
been
that were bugging me,
screaming, wouldn't
and
he?
it took me from a point of, I think she did it, reasonable doubt, to I'm certain that not only she didn't do it, but I'm certain that there's like a Serpico thing going on here. And that's what I think too. I think Tyler Keefe may have known something,
Did you say
and
Serpico?
See, I think it was
Serpico,
all an
yeah.
accident. I think there was a fight, and I know people say that they used a weight. I don't believe that. I think a fight ensued, and when he fell back, he cracked his head on a weight and split his head open and bled everywhere
Well,
on the basement
well,
floor. And then they
well
carried him from the basement to where they took him.
that's a lot of detail. It's not in
Mm,
evidence, though, right? And but let's say accident. Serpico was an accident.
yeah, right.
He got stuck in an apartment door, and somebody shot him in the face. Now he survived,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but the point was he wasn't playing games, and so nobody helped him. And here we have a cop,
Mm,
and I don't know about this cop, but I was Army before I was fire department. I was Army, and then patrol officer, and PI, and fire department. Um,
so, Carl,
a
do you think,
fly lands on
like,
the window. I wake up, and he didn't wake up.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, ma'am. Go ahead.
Um, yeah, no, I was thinking that if he was perhaps actually, if I think that through, if he'd been knocked in on the back of the head, then
Hey,
I've
Ash.
seen that
Have a
would
good day.
like phenomenal. But he would have been obviously he would have been knocked out completely. But all I'm thinking is that when it happened, the impact, or if this is what we're going along with, that he would have been writhing in pain and calling for help. And you know, how long do you think it would have taken? Because number one, I think it would have been his leg, as he's like lower torso. I don't believe in all this where he's
But
been
that's not
kneeling
effective, right?
down.
The
Yeah,
the the
I think
highest
so.
point on his body that could have possibly been hit in that impact would have been the sternum,
He's- yeah, yeah,
and all the trauma was
and that
above.
that don't make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
he's
the
six
trauma was
two.
above the neck on the periphery, right? So the
Yeah,
highest possible point he could have been anything sticking out of that car could have hit him would have been a sternum.
Yeah. So
and
his
you
And I've
leg
had
could have
a
been
think it would
broken.
have been
Yeah, at
and I've had
least,
a
I mean,
and I've had a
at
broken
least
sternum, and
like
that's
10 of
not
his
fun.
ribs.
Yeah, I've had a broken sternum and broken ribs, and it's no fun. I mean,
he'd have been
uh,
he would have been
I'd,
screaming for
I'd have been
help,
hollering like a
would he
little
not?
girl. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly. I'm agreeing. Yeah, totally. He would have been, and he would have been hurt, wouldn't he? Would he not? I mean, it makes sense that he would be hollering for a little while. I don't care if you're playing Adele full blast. You're going to hear it. You're going to hear a grown man that's in
right.
that much pain.
But here's my question: where
Uh,
did he hit the back of his head on?
yeah.
The snow, I guess.
If he landed in grass and in, if we're gonna go by their stupid crime scene photo that's all snow, and the back of his head hit the back of because you can't say the back of his head hit the pavement of the road because he wound up in the fucking yard. So that means he flew through the air. The back of his head hit the fucking yard, and it created a gash like that. Like,
Yeah.
are we? Do they think we're stupid?
Well, you
Yeah.
got to understand that the back of the head, the two paraorbital fractures, um, the zygomatic fractures, the scratches and cuts on the arm, the busted lip, all that happened two different directions from a low energy collision of 24 miles an hour.
24 miles an hour, man.
That would
I
have
got
knocked you
run
out of
over.
that would have knocked you out of the way or rolled over you.
I got run
Yeah,
over as a kid. I was running for a bus. I went over a zebra crossing,
and he would have at least
and it was
crawled.
traffic.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I was only 10. I was tiny, and the car didn't stop at the zebra. He carried on, um, and I don't know whose fault it is. All I know is that all my swimming money went up in the air, and I'd lost lots of money. And my mum said to me, "Where's all the money I gave you for your?" I said, "Mum, I've been run over." The guy was decent enough to bring me, but he could have only been going at 10 miles an hour. And I did fly a little bit. I remember, I'll never forget it, going up in the air, but with a grown man, it was 220 pounds or something. I couldn't have weighed more than 55 pounds. And to do all that damage in such a, not having it.
Well, we could talk about personal experience. After the Army and before I started working for the man, I was a biker.
Yeah.
And I got broadside at somewhere between 50 and 60 miles an hour one time. Guy ran a light, just nailed me. Knocked my bike 40 feet down the line, threw me up in the air. I landed. I wasn't wearing a helmet at the time. It hurt. I felt like I'd been worked over with a baseball bat. But hey, that's it. So you got that. Now the other thing too, the other thing too that bothered me about the way the EMTs describe things, and I've got one more thing about the cops, and then any other questions would be great. I'm having fun. I don't know about y'all. The fact is, okay, let's say she hit him. Oh, there's one of my beasts in the backyard. Let's say he was hit, killed instantly, thrown through the air, lands in the yard, he's dead on impact, right? Where's the ice?
Where's the what?
And how can you die?
Where is the ice? And let me explain. When you die and your circulation drops, the first sign of being dead is what they call liver mortis or dependent lividity. That's where the blood pools on the lower extremities, right? Mm-hmm. That's another thing. I'm waiting for the ME. I want to hear if there was any of that. Then the second sign is what they call algor mortis, which is the drop in the body temperature. Now, the only thing that the EMT said was correct was they had to resuscitate to get a body temperature above, or the nurse said that, above, like 65, 70 degree core temperature. We had a saying in the fire department, they're not dead until they're cold and dead, or until they're warm and dead, rather, right? And then, of course, the last thing being rigor mortis. So he gets hit, thrown 12 feet through the air, lands in a bank of snow, instantly dead. Let's say that, right? His body temperature, it's going to take a long time to get the core temperature down to where the surface temperature is not well above freezing. In that kind of temperatures, those kind of injuries, I would say probably a good 40 minutes before he got down below freezing. The snow that was gathering will melt.
Mm-hmm.
And as it melts, it'll refreeze. It'll refreeze on his clothing, right? It'll refreeze on his jeans, it'll refreeze on his shirt, it'll refreeze on his face. Mm-hmm. So he won't just be covered in snow, the snow will be sitting on top of ice.
Yeah.
Now, the cops responded. The one cop that was on the prosecution list, the one Canton cop that was on the prosecution list, could not identify any of the stuff they tried to get him to identify. So he was useless to them, helpful to Karen. Well, the second cop that shows up, she's on the defense witness list.
Yeah, how weird. Doesn't that?
Anyway, I appreciate you letting me come on and play. If you got anything you want to ask or just want to chat about, or
that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you coming up and giving your insight. I mean, if anybody, in chat has any questions or something, I'll bring it up here on screen. So are you? When did you retire from being a firefighter? Because I'm sure you were a volunteer for a while, right? All that.
Well, I volunteered locally for 3 years. Well, 2 years, and then joined the Dallas Fire Department and remained a volunteer locally for a year. Mm-hmm. So combined, from start to finish, 23 years. 21 years in Dallas. I retired in October 20.
Gotcha. Now, did you ever what's the craziest thing you've ever experienced?
Okay, how much time you got? Well, I can tell you the closest I ever came to buying it. Mm-hmm. There was a house in Oak Cliff. I worked Oak Cliff, South Dallas. Anybody familiar with the DFW area knows it's kind of a hectic part of town for fire and police.
Mm.
Um, but there was a house that we used to go to all the time. We had another frequent flyer there. It was a morbidly obese woman that stayed in the front bed by her air conditioner, and she'd ask us to check the stove, check the water heater, whatever. And sometimes the water heater needed to be relit, whatever. But more often than not, she wanted some company. We got no problem with that. So one night, and it had been a hell of a night. I'd already had three rip-roaring house fires. I was beat. So right around drunk 30, about 1:30, 2 o'clock, we get toned out, and it's this lady's house. We can see it from ours. Now we weren't first up; we were second up. Engine 23 would be the first up. It's on a street called Claude. And we get there, and of course, we're thinking, well, crap, we got to get this lady out, right? Morbidly obese lady, she can't get out on her own. But so far, the fire is in the back of the house. It's got a clean burn going. It's coming out the windows. It's open, good, clean, well-vented fire. So our first thing is go in there, push the fire out the back, and then get this lady out, right? Or maybe somebody else, maybe the truckers can get her out. And I did both. I did trucks and engines and rescue. I ran the rescue for the station. So we go in there, and there's another engine crew, but they got to go around a corner with their hose. And so engine 23 gets piled up in the kitchen area, and I'm sitting there pulling hose. What they call a short ladder pipe pull. He's a guy that comes in with a short ladder. He's got a pipe pull. He jams it through the ceiling, pulls it down, gets up in it, sees what kind of fire's up in the attic, right? Well, what we didn't know was they had enclosed the back porch as part of the kitchen dining area. And this is what they used to call shotgun houses. These were post-World War II houses that were built basically for, a lot of veterans bought them and stuff like that. And they call them shotgun houses because you open the front door and the back door, you can hit somebody back there with a shotgun. That's the lore. Wow. What we didn't realize is they'd enclosed they knocked out the back wall of the kitchen and enclosed the back porch as part of the kitchen dining area. But what they didn't do is they didn't open up the roof and then tie into the rafters. They put a furring strip across the top, tied into the rafters. So what we didn't realize was while this fire was looking nice, pretty, relatively safe, you're it's 500 degrees, it's getting kind of uncomfortable. So we're sitting there, putting all sorts of water on this thing, trying to get it blacked out. And what we didn't realize is this fire was up in the attic, just rolling and building pressure. The captain on our truck had gone around and he'd see the scupper vents. Y'all know what scupper vents are? Or soffit vents. Scupper or soffit vents.
Soffit. Yeah.
And you got the vents along there that let the air exchange in the attic, right?
Yep.
He sees one of these events, what they call blow torching. In other words, high pressure, high velocity flames shooting out of it. He's keying up the radio to tell everybody to get out. The guy behind me from the truck sticks his pipe pole in the ceiling, and it's like popping a balloon. And we get what we call a flashover. I feel the back of my neck blister, and I turn around, this wall of fire hits me, knocks me down, covers these guys up. The guy with the pipe pole, and this actually ended up saving this, turn around, haul ass. But my lieutenant's right behind him. So he gets pushed out the front door with this guy. It's a big dude. So we fight this fire off. I get my helmet straight. I get up again, and then it flashes again. It caves in. It pile drives me partway into the floor, caves in behind us, and I hear the LT from 23 say, follow the hose, follow the hose. Well, that's the first thing I was doing, but it ended in the corner because of the cave in. And he's right behind me. He's pushing on me. If you follow the hose, I have to go face piece to face piece with him. Because you're talking like this because you're a mask, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I say, we're in an effing corner. And I can feel him just kind of drop. Well, the LT that got pushed out, and understand at this time our gear's starting to burn. We're starting to get blisters. We're starting to cook, right? Because everything's on fire, including the firemen.
Jesus Christ.
Um,
That's my biggest
the
fear,
one,
man.
the one thing that I didn't want is to be found in a corner like a rat. So many firemen that die in fires are found just below windows or in a closet or something like that. And
Mm.
so I say a quick prayer, God take care of my wife and girls and don't let me be found in a corner like a rat. Then I'm at peace. I'm in pain, but I'm at peace, right? And then all of a sudden we start hearing, over here, over here. And we follow the voice and we run out and this thing spits us out. The chief said it looked like the house spit us out in the front yard. And then we were missing a guy named Bruce McCreary. And Sam Atchison was lieutenant. He's like, he's having a panic and they're having to hold him back. So I'm getting my mask back on, gearing up. I got to go in and find this guy, right? Somebody else is coming up to help me. And then found out he found a window. He bailed out in the backyard. So 20 something years later, I end up on staff because my back goes out and I can't walk and I can't use my right arm. I mean, I can now after surgery. Had to learn how to shoot left-handed. It was so,
Jesus Christ, dude.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I said,
yeah. And
that's my biggest fear, man. Is being burned alive.
and the funny thing is, I think drowning scares me more.
Really?
Yeah,
Why? You just kind of like shut down.
because I'm claustrophobic as hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny you say that though, because that's my dad's biggest fear is drowning, and I'm always like, really, dude? Like, man, like just
Yeah.
just feeling your skin or watching your skin, just oh man.
Well, if I thought for sure that I was done, I'd just take the mask off, take a deep breath, and it's over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Twizzle,
but
what the fuck?
yeah. So anyway, not much swivel stick, not much at all. In fact, if they hit you at the hip, you just push you out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hit at speeds harder than that.
Jesus Christ, dude. Listen, man, I appreciate your service, man, and all that, because that takes some balls to do all that.
Yeah. But what was
So
funny
how
about that
does it-
deal was I came home that morning and we had to go back. We turned that place. What you do when a big fire like that, and of course the other thing too is I started to talk about the obese lady. She wasn't there, so she'd either passed or gotten in a home or something. She wasn't there, and they were just clearing the house because it was basically not sellable. They were raising it, I think. And what we do after we get the fire knocked down is we covered it in AFFF, which is firefighter foam. And that breaks surface tension, soaks in the wood, makes everything wet. We made that thing look like a Gillette commercial. 2 hours later, we have to go back and that thing's burning again.
Jesus.
So somebody wanted that thing burned up.
That's insane, man.
You-
No,
So I came home to that shift, smelling like a brisket.
I bet.
Tail feather singed. I was coming home late because I had to go out to the supply room and get new bunker gear because it all burned up. And so I come home and I've got a baby that's about 3 years old and then a brand new baby. No, actually, no, it's my first one. She was still a nursing baby, so she was like a year old or so. And I come in, my wife's sitting in her rocker in the girls' room, nursing, and I walked by. I said, "That's the most beautiful sight I've ever seen." And then I walk back to the bathroom, turn around, she's right behind me. What happened? Like, what do you mean? Yeah,
Wow.
So that was probably the closest I come to life. I've had some other calls. I've had I fell 4 stories, broke my ankles one time.
You.
Yeah, thank God you're still here, man. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you coming up. I really do. And, and listen, you're welcome anytime to come back up.
Yeah, anytime, man. So you want me to just bail or you gonna kick me or what?
Everybody. Oh no, I mean you can stay up. I thought you said you had to go.
Oh no. I just said anybody who's got any questions after that, be fine. And
yeah. No, man, everybody's welcome to stay. Listen, all opinions and shit are all welcome here.
Yeah.
And I do want to ask. I do just real quick. I want to ask somebody something because I keep seeing Chrissy said a few interesting things, and somebody said Chrissy is ex FBI.
Oh, shut up,
And
Chrissy. Yeah, she is marvelous. She is fantastic.
and she said the hat was found in the front yard by the gate to the backyard.
Uh-huh.
And before that, she said, and I caught it. Oh wait, hold on. She said something about. Hold on 1 minute. I gotta go back. I'm trying to look for it. She said his. We have both shoes. Found the other shoe by the gate to the backyard.
That's telling, isn't it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
They must have all this.
Here's another thing about mobile pedestrian accidents. Let's play devil's advocate again and say she hit him hard enough, knocked him 12 feet in the yard. Guess where the missing shoe would be?
At the strike of impact.
At the point of impact. You're correct.
Yeah, we're going to
come
see
on.
Loretta.
Yeah, shut up, Chrissy. I love her to death. I've been in other chats with her. She is hilarious. But she's. I think when she says my advice is to wait for the defense's case, I think that is like, we're sitting there speculating about a lot of things. That defense's case is going to be amazing.
This is like I said. This seems like the defense is putting on 2 cases. In my opinion.
No, it seems like the prosecution is putting on a case for Karen Reed.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's like having 2 fucking defense teams here.
Yeah.
Because like I said, all Lally is doing. I mean, you can tell half of his questions are trying to get ahead of what the defense is going to present to, show that the witness is lying. And you can, you can just, and I hope the jury isn't dumb because, it seems like everybody here that's been talking in chat can see it. And if a jury selection is, they pick people that they think are with it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't know if you've been watching any of the attorneys that cover this.
I have.
I think
everybody.
More often than not, Shut Up Chrissy and I have shared the chat at DUI guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I was there.
he is a really, really sharp, intuitive litigator.
He is. That's where I learned that there was 2 Asian jurors, or 2 jurors that are Asian descent.
Right. And in fact, I told Shut Up Chrissy one time, I said, I feel funny typing Shut Up Chrissy. And she goes, well, that's why it's there. So,
he's. I watched a couple of his.
But
DUI cases. He's an animal.
Yeah, one of the points that I think he made that I think we should all kind of keep in mind when we're watching this. If you're having doubts, if you're bored, if you're distracted, if you're frustrated, so's the jury.
I hope so.
So,
yeah.
So seriously, we're sitting there looking at all this thing and, what the hell? So's the jury.
It better be, man, because like I said, it's, to me, once I would have heard all the witnesses say there was a dusting of snow and his body was and then seeing the crime scene photos of the blood on inches and inches of snow, how the fuck does that make sense, just that in itself?
Yeah, well, I think because of how convoluted these witnesses are, we're kind of conflating a couple things. The dusting of snow was at the time of the party, right?
Uh-huh.
Everybody leaves the waterfall exactly, or leaves the house exactly 12:10. I forget which one they leave, but it's funny. Everybody left exactly at 12:10. Not around 12, not around whatever. Exactly 12:10. But at that time, there's a light dusting of snow, which, if there was contrast, would validate Matt. It wouldn't validate him not seeing this dead guy in the middle of the yard, but it would validate him seeing the tracks in the road, because if it's dusting of snow, you're going to see the pavement underneath the snow. It'll be like black lines on a white background.
Yeah,
right?
but my thing is, how is he seeing that from inside the house when this guy couldn't even read fucking texts that were 2 inches from his face?
Well,
Oh,
Again,
true.
this is pure speculation on my point, but knowing a little bit about how phones and data and stuff work. And actually, Chrissy could probably, you know, enter into this too, enter this part of the conversation. It looks to me like he's not using the light so much to see as to record thing. He keeps taking snapshots
Yeah, fair
because
play. Because I think,
anybody's
yeah,
got an iPhone. You drive down to the corner and you hit the
yeah.
flashlight. Okay, you get the flashlight on. Well, what's he keep tapping the screen for?
I tell you, yeah, who spotted that? I'll tell you who spotted that. It was our guy, Uncivil Law. Like, I kind of like him. I can't
There
help
you
it.
go. There you go,
And
Chrissy.
Yeah, I like him.
he brought that in. Uncivil Law brought that in, and I thought, no, he's only using the torch. But did you see how big those bubbles were? I mean, I'm getting on a bit, and I have to, I've got readers. But
Well,
Yeah, I saw how
it
big it was,
was
and he sat
it
there,
was
and
a 5-year-old could read it. A
and I want,
5-year-old,
and I have a
and
question, and I have a serious
drama.
question because I am very, very concerned on why they allowed this. Okay, so this jackass goes to the window and he's trying to read these texts, knowing damn well he already knows what the text messages say. I mean, come on, let's be real here.
Yeah.
Not, and then what do they allow him
he
to do?
just didn't
They
think.
allow,
He just didn't. I'm sorry to interrupt. He just didn't think they had him.
yeah. So then,
Huh?
so then they allow him to go get his phone, correct?
Correct.
Is it
Now,
his phone?
I don't know about fucking iPods or iPad or iPhones, but with my Samsung, if I click the if I'm on the record and I click the light on button, I can click the record button at the same time, and I can sit there and use my flat. I can make it look like to the world that I'm using my flashlight when in reality I'm recording everything that I'm flipping through in the group chats. So my question is, why? How the hell did the courts allow him to use his own phone light when he could have recorded and he could have used video to of everything he was seeing?
Well, if you
No
recall,
wonder he was
Andy
laughing.
Bev,
He was laughing.
Andy Bev asked if Yannetti or Jackson had any objection to it, and they said no. I think they've got these people so dead to rights. All they're doing is letting themselves, the proverbial, give them enough rope and they'll hang themselves.
Mhm.
That's what, yeah.
Like I said, these are all just
So,
little things that I catch, man. That I just
Again,
I'm like,
again, that's just opinion, but
yeah, no, I got you. I'm just saying,
but
it's
let
weird.
you're talking about recording, right? I know what you're talking about. You pull down, he's got an iPhone. You pull down that corner, and you got the flashlight, and you got the record, screen record icon, right?
Mhm.
Okay, if you did that, why does he keep tapping the screen?
I keep zooming in.
taking.
Could he have his camera open and be taking snapshots?
Oh, absolutely. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. He could have been doing anything with that phone. That's my thing.
For that matter, he could have had the text up and started deleting her asses, but it's too late now.
That's what I was just very upset that they allowed him to use his own phone. I mean, they don't have a $10 fucking lamp that they could afford to put on the. I mean, seriously, come on.
Okay, it's a bright sunshiny day, and there's a window right behind him. And I can tell you from the size of the text balloons. I used to do graphics and illustration on the side. In fact, that's what I wanted to do before I ended up working government jobs. The text on those things had to be at least 12 point.
Mhm.
So
my God, they were like proper. I could see them. I was, it was huge. It was only 3 of them.
and then Andy Bev played along.
And then,
Oh well, don't want to give him something he can't see. Open your eyes, then, lady.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Show it to the jury. The person 6 seats behind could see what was going
And
on.
then she allows in,
Yeah.
and then she allows in some bullshit because I believe it was United that asked a completely different a question that had nothing to do with harassment, and then all of a sudden they allow I believe what's her name, Katie, to
have her little breakdown moment. Yeah.
that's bullshit, dude. There's no way he opened the door.
And Heather, they knew exactly what they
Mind
wrote. They just
you,
didn't think
wouldn't you?
anybody had it. And
It's
I'm
yeah.
surprised that the prosecution didn't brief them up on it. But when the defense showed up with it, like I said, we got a what the hell, and then when he gets that last page, oh my god! So
Yeah.
so he
John
just didn't think they had it.
Travolta.
It's like, we're done here. That was awesome.
It's
That was your cousin Benny moment. Yeah, I'm done with this guy.
Listen, man. I mean, I like how each of them how they're have their strengths. Like Jackson is just an animal on cross examination, but like I don't think. I mean, I haven't heard too many opening statements by a defense attorney, but Yannetti's opening statement had me captivated, or open an argument, or whatever the fuck.
When you get fat, old, bald, and broke down, you might start watching a lot more trials, and that's what I've been doing. I've seen a lot of opening statements, and some of them are decent, some of them are fantastic. Most of them are meandering and don't put a story together. That's another thing that if you watch DUI guy, yeah, right. Their friend that they love very much, a fellow cop, is the guy. All these, most of them meandering, they don't tie a story together, and you just gotta wait for the case, and whatever happens. Let's take Kyle Rittenhouse for instance. As full of living bovine excrement as the prosecution was, and all their criminal misconduct and stuff like that, they had a better opening statement than their defense did. Because they told a story. Now, when they got to the evidence, that story just kind of blew up in their face. But hey, there you go. But what Yannetti did on opening this case was a masterclass. Oh my gosh!
Oh, it was crazy. And what's crazy is now that I've seen
this is not a murder. This is a frame job. You're like, that's how he started, and it went.
He got right up there, and he was like, "Karen Reed was framed." I was like, "Oh shit."
That's a bold statement, and that's the other thing too. When I heard that, I thought, you better be able to prove that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Everything that he said, because I went back and I watched the opening statement, and hopefully, if everybody here has like 10 seconds of their time, I created a short yesterday because for some reason I was zooming in on people's faces during his opening arguments just to see like everybody's reaction, and I caught John O'Keefe's mother mouthing the same word that Yannetti was saying, which again just shows me that she kind of isn't buying the prosecution shit like everybody thinks she is. But during his open arguments, it was like you said, he was telling a story, and when you compare that to Lally, like it's like there's no way the jury even remembered what the fuck Lally said after Yannetti's opening argument. No way.
I agree 100%. I don't know.
And then I went back and I listened to everything Yannetti said, and little by little they've been proving each little thing that he's brought up. It's crazy.
Well, to be fair, it's the state witnesses proving this. Wait until defense witnesses start. I mean,
that's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. The prosecution's witnesses are the ones helping the defense. Like, oh my god! Just imagine the defense's case.
Oh yeah,
and that's what they say, isn't it? That it's all about the story and who buys what story. But I think Yannetti is totally going to have the happily ever after on his side. I really do. It's surprising. I really thought they might have had something because of all everything around it between Turtle Boy and the other thing weren't taking any notice. And of course, this properly is a shit show for them. It's kind of embarrassing, but it's so entertaining at the same time.
Well, yes, ma'am. That's
almost
correct.
A slam dunk almost. I hate to say it, but
what I would say is if they come in and they'd left the charges at a negligent homicide, they may have been able, I doubt it, but they may have been able to, you know,
Yeah,
eke out
negotiate.
the
Yeah,
let's say it maybe come back with a, no harm, no foul kind of plea deal.
yeah.
But instead, she didn't want to. She was not guilty. She didn't want to accept guilt. So okay, we're going to charge you with murder now. Well, now you just overcharge somebody.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah.
And the only
That is
and the only fucking motive that that has been brought up is some bullshit trip in Aruba from I don't know how many, how long ago.
Well, there's some indication that there may have been a disagreement about them going to that party.
Big deal.
Well,
that's
what I'm
fine.
getting at though is for some reason Karen did not want to hang out with those people. Now, some people say it's because she knew the blizzard was coming, which is why the plan was to, use the snowplows until her family friend showed up with a snowplow. Oh, we can't do that now.
But it also could be, because again, we don't know. It also could be, and again, I don't know if they took her blood alcohol content that, in those hours after, but it also could be maybe she didn't want to drive home drunk.
Well, I don't think they did, because I think that would have been. I think that would have at least been in the opening if they had.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I still haven't. Yeah, but I still haven't heard any of the witnesses say that. I've heard everybody else was drunk except Karen. To be honest with you.
Yeah, she might very well be the only sober person.
Yeah, because as an MS patient that you have to take it easy, because that is where it touches the cerebellum, all your lesions, everything else, your mobility. You're not going to make a prat of yourself. You're not.
And she was probably eyeing. I mean, listen. She knows these people. She probably knows how they get when they're, drunk. And she was probably eyeing out what was going. I mean, even though she was probably eyeing out the whole sparring and the whole goofing off, and she was like, I just don't want to deal with that tonight. You know what I mean? She seems like a mature fucking adult. I mean, look what she does for a living.
Yeah.
Right. And I agree, Mandy Joe. I think you're correct.
Even if you're in your if you're in your early 40s and you still want to have a great time, you've been diagnosed with MS, that will change your outlook on alcohol. Some it doesn't, some it will, because you can't do the alcohol that other people can. That's the thing, because your motor skills are way off anyway. So in front of people that you hardly know, you are not going to get pissed. You are just not. And if you're rooting for this guy and you love their kids and you've done everything, everyone's been in lockdown, you've been invited, she probably thought, oh, I might have had too much, I'm going home. Because she might have not, been drunk, but your motor skills can knock you off to make you look, it's hard to explain. I suffer, not with MS, but I have different, but you really do have to be careful.
Are you a celiac man?
The ones and your friends that your friends that know you, and they, I walk around in Crocs. I think Crocs are amazing.
But it also, and MS also, but I heard MS also it raises, it brings on anxiety and feeling, because the channel is called Going Through the Motions. His name is Sean McDonough. I love listening to him because he's so high energy. And he had a woman on that has MS, and she was explaining it all. I mean, it explains why she takes Adderall.
Yeah, Adderall is a cheaper as opposed to Provigil or something like that. And Provigil, by the way, is also something that's prescribed for narcolepsy. Well, ma'am, let me ask you. You said you had something else autoimmune. Are you a celiac by any chance?
No. Well, as far as I know, I'm not.
Okay, because
I've had. Yeah, go. Sorry.
A lot of autoimmune diseases, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, MS, everything like that. You present with that in a public health service there, in Europe especially, in England, in Ireland. First thing they do is to take you off gluten. Because celiac screws is related to that. Well,
Yeah,
It's
I'm
real.
told that I've got to avoid it.
It's really. I'm sorry, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. I think that I'm told to avoid gluten,
Right.
and coffee, alcohol, that kind of thing. It affects everything in my speech. I'm
I
aware that it
probably
does,
shouldn't have,
but
Lucas.
yeah, but I think I do okay. And my neurologist said to me, "You have a beautiful brain," which of course is very flattering.
Yeah.
But your cerebellum is fucked. Your
Yeah.
cerebellum is completely not fucked, but I have to, I work out a lot now because obviously it's about your motor skills, and so
Right.
that
Yeah.
affects everything.
Cerebellum
Affects
is basically the
every
switchboard for
muscle.
the brain.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
so I do it.
The thing is it's real very predominant in European descents. We're talking the Gaelic,
Mm,
Germanics, and stuff like that. It's even more so
mm.
in the Anglican and Celtic descendants.
Goodness,
And
wow! You
so
just hit on my whole family.
you got well,
I'm telling you, Steve.
that's kind of what I'm getting at. So Karen Reed, right,
Okay,
Uh-huh.
and
right.
Jim McCabe both claim to have M. Jim McCabe says she's got MS too. Well, what is the most
Right.
populous descendancy in Boston, Mass area?
Irish.
Exactly. So
Even I know that.
yeah, no,
All
I've
right.
got celiac disease. I'm Irish and Scotch Irish. My wife's Irish and English, and we're
Yeah.
both celiacs. Of course, my girls have it in spades because they got it from both sides.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to do the 23andMe because I'm also a bastard, so I don't know. I have to try that out, and I think that maybe it might. I know it's only to help my kids in case I don't know because
Well,
none of the
it
other bit that tree is. My mum is from. Well, they're a bit kind of. Yeah, anyway, I ain't going through all that, but that would make sense that I'm the only one getting all this rubbish.
well,
So,
Vix,
but I've
if you're
still
a
got a
bastard,
beautiful brain. I'm going to hang on to that.
yeah,
Yeah,
Vix, if you're a
if I'm
bastard,
a
you check
bastard.
23andMe, you might turn out you have a claim to the throne.
Do you
So,
get me? I'm going to have some
right.
kind of I might make that the and yeah, it'll make up for all sorts. I don't. I was adopted by a wonderful dad, and yeah, I say wonderful, but anyway, so I didn't go without a
Yeah,
father.
that's bullshit, Teresa.
It's just that he wasn't my biological, and it's always been a mystery. So I'm kind of jealous, and now, of course, I'm worried of putting out my DNA amongst that lot because you never know who you're going to be related to.
You never know how you could turn up like Brian Koberger.
Yeah. There you go.
Turn up in
But
a
listen,
misfot.
I gotta go. I gotta go eat some because I'm starving. I appreciate you guys coming up. I might,
Mm,
like I said, after
that's fine.
if after Tuesday and stuff, after all, everybody else, goes live about it. I might go live again, and if you guys want to come back up, obviously, you're more than
Yeah,
welcome to.
that'd be great.
Because I
Cool.
appreciate
Yeah,
Thanks
everybody's
so
input.
much,
You know what I
if
mean?
I
Ollie.
haven't
It's
bored the
really
crap out of you
nice.
so
I
far.
wasn't gonna, but I did.
No, absolutely no, absolutely not, man. Listen, you gotta understand. I'm a sponge. I like learning from everybody. So giving your knowledge as
Yeah.
as a firefighter and knowing how the whole scene
A
went down
bastard.
here. Yeah, it's to me that's really
Yeah,
important.
yeah. Yeah.
No,
No,
Yeah.
it's lovely
if
as
you can
well to
provide
meet you,
knowledge.
Tom.
Yeah,
Mm,
Hey,
yeah. Well, it's
just
only
one thing.
it's not.
Um, hey,
Mm.
Chrissy, I'll see you Tuesday.
I see it.
That's a
Yeah.
bad thing to say. Then.
Well,
Not
And
she'll be in the
necessarily.
chat. She'll be in the chat on Larry's channel, I'm
No,
sure.
okay.
and if everybody can just
Yeah, lovely.
like, subscribe on the way out, I'd appreciate it.
You
And
should
yeah,
be
like
up
I
there
said, I
by
mean,
now.
I'll try to go live again once I find some time. But I appreciate you guys.
Mm.
I appreciate you guys coming
Oh,
up, and you know, like I said, next
our
time you guys can
pleasure.
come right back up if you want.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a
Nice to
blast,
meet you,
and
Carl.
good luck. Yeah, nice meeting you too, Vix. This has been a blast, and I hope your channel just takes off, man.
Hey, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I
I'm glad
think
you
it
had fun.
will. Lovely rest of the
Vic's
season.
always a
All
pleasure.
right.
All right, guys. Have a
Okay.
great night.
Take care, honey.
Or
All
great
right, you go
day,
Kings,
night,
right?
Bye.
whatever it is. See you guys.
Bye.
Yeah. All right, take care.
All right, chat. Hope everybody enjoys their Saturday. I thank everybody for coming by. Jen, only thing, I guess the only thing I have to say to you is good luck. And everybody in chat, have a great day. See y'all.